Happy rush season. Here is my terribly tragic, awful bid day experience. I'm not even being dramatic, y'all. This was so bad. Like, if you know me personally, you know about this story. Awful. My whole life, I never wanted to rush. I never had any interest in it. My dad was in a fraternity, but I knew nothing about it. He dropped out. My mom dropped out. They own their own businesses. So, like, I knew nothing about Greek life. I kind of was just doing it just because it was like, if I like it, and I'll stay in it. If I don't, it's okay. I'll drop and it's not a big deal kind of thing. Like, I just didn't want to regret not doing it. All I knew what to base it off of was movies and like TV shows. So in my mind, I had a stereotype that they're just mean girls. No tea, no shade. If you're in a sorority, that's awesome. Good for you. I hope you love it because it's definitely not for everybody. It wasn't for me, and that's okay. Okay, so here's what happened. Y'all know the drill. You open your card, you run home. So on my card was either my top house or my bottom house, meaning I was either in a sorority or I wasn't going to go through the whole process. So 3, 2, 1, I opened my card and it was the one I wanted, which I was so excited about. Since I went through that whole process, I was just hoping something good would come out of it, and I'm glad it was the one I wanted. I didn't know anybody, guys. Keep that in mind. I knew nobody, okay? So I run home, and outside the house, everybody's already out there, and like all the frat guys are like watching. It's like a huge deal, right? I'm just like by myself, like trying to make friends. Oh my gosh, I sound like such a loser. Oh my God. Oh my God. All the sophomores are outside, and every single girl has a sign with the incoming freshman's name and then like a goodie bag, a t-shirt, like all the things. I'm looking around to find my sign that says my name and like my bid day buddy. I'm so excited. I'm like, I wonder who my bid day buddy is. Like, I can't wait. She's gonna be my friend. I'm circling around the freaking house for 5 minutes and there's no sign for me. Okay. So I open my card again to make sure that I'm at the right place, and it clearly says I'm at the right freaking place, and there's no sign for me. So I'm like, I don't want to make a big scene out of this because I'm like, there's no need. Maybe I'm just like not looking. Maybe I missed it. So I go around the house probably 10 more times. I'm out there looking for a good 10 minutes and there is nobody. Everybody's taking pictures, hugging each other, like creating groups of like friends, and like they're all going to go to the bid day event together. And I'm just like sitting there and I'm like, I don't know what to do. And also, no one is offering to help me. Like, people can see I obviously don't have anyone with me. So I look over and I notice a girl that also didn't have a sign. And I was like, hey girl, like, any chance that you're also looking for a sign? She was like, yeah. She was like, I've been circling for like 10 minutes, like same thing as me. And she was like, maybe we should ask someone. So I'm like, okay. So I ask a sophomore and I'm like, hi, like, I'm not trying to like bother you with your like bid day buddy, but I don't have a sign. And like, I promise I'm supposed to be here. And she was like, are you sure? Let me check your card. She checks my card and it says I'm supposed to be here. She was like, I haven't seen yours. She checks the other girl's card and she's like, oh, you're over there. So the other girl has a sign and she was like, I don't know about you. Like, maybe go inside and talk to a junior. I go inside, talk to a junior. The junior was very, very nice and she helped me. But I guess my bid day buddy either forgot to do it. She wasn't there. Something happened and like, there was a bunch of excuses, but like at the end of the day, there's no excuse. That should not have happened because that kind of just like proved my stereotype right, if that makes sense. So she was so nice. She took me outside. We took pictures and stuff. But again, she was a junior. So it's like, I felt like I was just following her around. And I really wanted to meet people my age, like my freshman class. I spent the whole rush week. I was so excited to be the sorority. And then I get there and it literally felt like no one wanted me, which kind of is the case because no one made a sign for me. I was just gonna go home, cry, but I'm like, you know what? Just stick it out. You got the sorority for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. Like, let's just see what ends up happening. So we go to the bid day spot. I'm just tagging along. Gosh, I like have the ick of myself right now. This was a terrible situation. It's like funny now, but in that moment, I can't even describe to you the feeling. I felt so small. Like, I literally was such a freaking loser. And it's honestly like really sad. Like, it's not even like, it's funny, but like, it's not. Like, it's kind of sad. So yeah, that's my story. So the next year, I rushed girls, obviously, and I made sure to make sure every single person had a freaking sign, because what happened to me is not okay. Like, that is not acceptable. So if you are rushing girls and if you are an upperclassman, please make sure that everyone feels included. And if something like that does go on, quickly make a sign for them in the back and be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, we forgot it in the back. Like, make up some excuse, because I literally felt like no one wanted me and I was not supposed to be there. I am not in the sorority. I'm not even at that school anymore. So at the end of the day, none of it matters. And yes, it was just a sign, but that was terrible in the moment. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. And why does this stuff happen to me? Like, obviously, I'm glad it happened to me versus someone else, because I think I handled it kind of well. But yeah, this is nuts. I probably manifested it, because that was my worst nightmare of rush. I was like, what if I have no one to run home to? And that's exactly what happened. If you're rushing, do not be scared and don't listen to this, because the chances of this happening is like literally shouldn't have happened. And everybody, good luck with rush, and I hope you guys have a great experience, one better than mine.
I'm like sweating right now because I don't even want to tell this story, but I'm gonna anyways, because why not? So I got ghosted on Saturday, and let me tell you like the backstory. So supposedly I have a boyfriend, and I use these little quotes because he doesn't do boyfriend shit, but he makes me do girlfriend shit as far as like my location is being shared. I want you to block certain guys on the internet, and I want you to put your status as, you know, in a relationship, stop posting publicly on Snapchat, like all these things. I do all these things. I'm like, I just want to be with you. And he's like, I just want to be with you and everything. Let me tell you, blah, blah, blah. Friday, he texts me at 4:45 and says like, hey, what are you doing? He not in like those words, but basically was like, so like your kid's gonna be busy tonight. I want to see you. And I was like, of course. Well, I was gonna see you tomorrow, Saturday, but yeah, like of course. And then an hour and a half later, I'm like, so like, when are you done with work? Knowing damn well he's not at work because of his location, but I just want to see what he would say. And he was like, oh, I don't. I was like, oh, you're done working? And he's like, oh, I'm at my buddy's. Thought you want to hang out. So I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, it's fine. I'm like, we'll just, you know, let me know the plans for tomorrow. We don't even. And then I kind of snapped like 30 minutes later, and I was like, hey, question. Why did you even bring up hanging out with me if you had no plans to do so? Because mind you, I dropped my kid off and now I'm just sitting here like a puppy in the window waiting for him to text me and be like, hey, yeah, come over, or I'll stop over. Like, I'm waiting for him. It was his idea to see me, so I'm waiting for him to initiate some plans. He was like, it's only 7 o'clock. Mind you, I get up at 3:30 every freaking day. He's like, oh, it's only 7 o'clock and I haven't gone anywhere or seen anybody. Like, the night is still young, and also don't approach me like that. You're at your friend's house. You are seeing someone. You went from work to your friend's house. So my response was, I'm not approaching you. I'm trying to talk to my boyfriend. I should be able to say how I feel without being scared of you. And he says, I don't know why you would be scared of me. And I said, I'm not scared of you. I'm scared of like what you do. You shut down. But it's okay. I just wanted better communication. I'm sorry. No response. It's now 9:30. Now I'm sitting there, and now I'm like, all right, well, I guess we're not gonna hang out, right? Because I checked his location, and he's still at his buddy's house. What is wrong with you? I mean, I know I'm no 10, but I'm like a Michigan 7, okay? So what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with me? All right, well, I'm gonna go to bed, so drive safe. Have a great night, and yeah, like, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Like, next day. Nothing from this man. No text good morning, no nothing. Look on his Snapchat after I'm getting my oil change and like went to the grocery store with my kid. I look, and this man has his little dirt bikes loaded up on his trailer. Mind you, we had plans. He's headed up north. I can see him driving. No word from him. Mind you, we're supposed to go to a baseball game. Understand, it is raining. So I know, like, we're probably not gonna go to the baseball game. So I'm freaking out. I message him, going anywhere? This man opens it and doesn't say anything. Okay, fine. So then at about 1:30 in the afternoon, mind you, he is driving up north. I think he was actually there by then. And I said, hey, let me know the plans for today. And if we're not going to go to the baseball game, my kid would like to go to his friend's house and have a sleepover. You know what that means. He says, no baseball game. Our kids don't even want to go. No one from work is going. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, did you still want to do something? And he said, yes, ma'am. Luckily, I'm getting ready anyways. Like, it was a hair wash day. Yeah, I'm already getting ready. So I was like, oh, for no reason. Anyways, I then take my kid to his friend's house and I come home 6:30 and I say, I'm all yours. He says nothing. He's still up north. He even posted on a Snapchat. And at home I'm like, you mother. At like 8 o'clock, I think, he said, headed home. So I'm like, all right, so the latest this man's gonna come home is 10. That's not too bad. We could still hang out. We could still go get drinks or something, right? Like nothing crazy. I see he gets home at 10 and nothing. And then at 11, I texted him, hey, I'm really tired. I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm so sorry. Just pretend like it was my fault. I know it's not my fault, but I pretend like it was my fault. Next day he reads it, nothing. Nothing. All morning. I think finally I texted him like 11:30, 12. Then he Snapchatted me a little bit and I was like, well, I'm making cookies. He went golfing. Found out after he went golfing. You wanna stop by? He's like, sure, stop by. Everything's fine. No apology, no acknowledgement, anything. So tell me, ladies, men, I guess. That's fucked up, right? All right, well, anyways, I'll probably be single here soon because, you know, me and my boyfriend are probably gonna break up. Fucking moron.
Things I'm pretty sure my family hated about my wedding. Disclaimer, per usual, I am generalizing because it would be too difficult for everyone to keep up with each scenario that I am about to talk about. Not every sibling felt this way about every topic. These are also my own thoughts and opinions. Starting off with what I feel like is an obvious one, the fact that I wanted a traditional ceremony. I did not get married in the LDS temple. Again, not all of my siblings are going to share the same opinion. One sister that I've talked about before that is estranged loved that I didn't have an LDS wedding. And I also wanted my sisters to get ready with me. I feel like they were not fans of this. Maybe they didn't actually feel this way, but I feel like I had to pull teeth because the idea was we would all get ready together. They were kind of like, why? I thought it would be fun. I thought it would be cutesy. I got everyone matching pajamas. By the end of it, it really turned into come as ready as you would like. Most of them had to travel at least a little bit, so I said, hey, you can just bring your dress, wear your pajamas down so you don't have to travel in your bridesmaid dress. Maybe the drive can be more comfortable and we can all get ready together. I feel like it was not met with much excitement, which is okay. This is actually going to segue right into bridesmaid dresses. My original inspo was this like berry fuchsia color because it matched my wedding ring that my husband designed for me. The dresses that I was thinking of, I guess I overestimated my sister's comfort when it came to wearing non-garment friendly things. For those of you that don't know, garments are the underclothes that members of the Mormon church wear. It's a modesty thing. I was under the impression that they would not be like super strict with that. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of like what they wear golfing and stuff like that. I thought they would be like, this is cute and if this is what Michaela wants, like we'll wear it for a couple hours. No. My original inspo was this. I get it. This one, it's like not a big deal. It did end up being just different shades of orange and pink. The dresses still turned out super cute. The next thing was vows. I mentioned that I wanted a traditional wedding ceremony that did include reading vows. And then one of my sisters basically said she doesn't like when the couples read their vows because she basically thinks they're full of crap. And 5 years down the road, she thinks back to the vows that they made, how unserious they're taking them, I guess. So essentially she was saying she judges couples based on their vows and holds them to it as a third-party observer. And I was like, I don't know that I want that. And then I had another sister who was like, well, if you don't read your vows, then what's the point? Oh, okay. The next one, my husband's uncle ruffled a couple feathers with his, is it considered a speech if he does it? I don't know. He got licensed to marry us. He cracked a joke. He knew the reason why we weren't gonna share our vows, and he made a light joke of it, and my family did not appreciate that because they knew. Another thing that they just were not vibing with was pickleball. My wedding was actually held in my in-laws' backyard and they have a pickleball court. I was like, okay, instead of just having everyone sit around, why don't we have a little pickleball tournament? I of course asked my sisters, like, would this be fun? I probably shouldn't have asked for their opinion at all, but I did. Some liked the idea, some did not. Like, what about boys versus girls? Like, that's gonna be so unfair because The girls will still be in dresses and the guys are in pants. Obviously the guys would win. And I was like, oh, easy fix. You have to have a guy and a girl. It can't be a team of guys against a team of girls. I thought this made sense. They had an outdoor, I'm gonna use the term playhouse. It's like a mini mom and pop, like, which we used as the dressing room. The one sister was just like, no. Then another concern was paddles. What about paddles? So we went and we bought a set of 4 so that everyone had the same paddle. You didn't have to bring a paddle to play. Bring extra clothes. It was already chill. The dress code was chill. My husband and I had the groomsmen wear polos and they could wear a colored pattern polo. Like, it did not matter. I liked it. I thought it was fun. To piggyback onto that, because we wanted people to actually want to play, we were like, okay, let's do some prizes. Like, let's go get some prizes for first, second, and third place. I had a sister who thought this was like the dumbest idea. She was like, it's your wedding. People should be bringing you gifts. It's weird for you to give someone a gift. Like, it's not a gift, it's a prize. So we did prizes for, I think it was first, second, third place, like a couple of Walla water bottles. And then we let them keep their paddle, and there were a few other things, but I don't remember them. One sibling also did not like my original plan for both of my parents walking me down the aisle. My parents are divorced, so I was going to have both my mom and my dad walk me down the aisle till one of my sisters was like, oh, you mean like senior night? If you don't know what senior night is, when you play a sport, or like sometimes they do it for band members as well. In high school, they designate a single night of the season. They go and they read through all the seniors. You get to pick like an escort. And traditionally, it's your parents that do it. You're like getting escorted by your parents, one on each arm, and they read like a nice little thing about you. After she said that, I was like, okay, never mind. If that's the vibes everyone's gonna get, I won't do that. So I ended up having my dad walk me down the aisle, and I don't know, the idea just came to me last minute, and I was like, stepmom and mom can hold my train as they walk down the aisle with me and my dad. And I hand my bouquet to my mom, which I thought worked out. But if you've made it this far, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
If you're a parent, download Find My iPhone or Find My Friends immediately before your kid goes off to college, and don't take advantage of it, just for safety reasons. I feel like enough time has finally passed where I can share a story. Freshman year of college, I was at Texas A&M, and it was during COVID, okay? So what was there to do besides go on Bumble? I get on Bumble and I'm having fun. I meet a whole bunch of different guys doing whatever. Like, as in, like, hanging out, nothing more. So let me just tell you about a weekend. One weekend I met this one guy. We're gonna call him Mark. Mark and I hit it off. I ended up seeing him in person, and he is not cute, okay? However, Mark's roommate, Alan, is quite cute. Alan and I start hanging out, we smooch, whatever. I go home, I literally think nothing of it. Enters Chase. Chase and I are messaging. He's like, hey, I have a guy's trip coming up. I really want you to come with me. Chase and his like buddies lived in Tyler, Texas. And he's like, hey, I will drive from Tyler to College Station, pick you up. I'm like, awesome, free trip, and you're gonna drive me, period. Like, the only thing I said was I need to bring on my friends. So me and Molly, we go with this random group of guys. They pick us up. There's 3 different trucks. There's probably 12 college age guys. And they pick us up. We go down to Galveston. We're having so much fun. This is where things take a little bit of a turn. What did I call him? Chase. Chase is like throwing back drinks all night, just not making the best impression in the way that he's speaking to his friends, the way that he's speaking about women. He's like already like trying to touch me inappropriately, just very uncomfortable, trying to call me his girlfriend. I had never met him in person. I know I should not have gone, okay? Whatever. So he literally is taking Crown Green Apple. To this day, cannot look at that without thinking of him, and not in a good way. And he's like throwing it on his head. He's like, shoot it off my head. No, not happening. He's like so angry. He's like throwing like fists in the wall. Again, he has puked on his shirt. His friends are apologizing for him. Whatever. He goes to bed. I'm obviously not sleeping in the same room with him, not sleeping in the same bed with him. Absolutely not. Me and my friend Molly sleep on this like single trundle bed. I wake up the next day and I hear Chase talking absolute about me because I didn't sleep in the same bed as him. He's like, what? How disrespectful that she didn't sleep in the same bed as me, all these things. I was pissed. But at the same time, I couldn't call my parents and tell them that their sweet, innocent freshman year old child went to Galveston with a bunch of boys. That is terrible. That she didn't know. So I'm just like, we have to thug it out, Molly. Like, I'm so sorry. We can't do anything about it. And so we give him the benefit of the doubt. All of his friends go off to the beach, and he like stays back because we were getting ready. We get ready. We go down to the beach. The beach is a mile from where we were staying, and it takes this man 2 hours to find his friends. the whole time he's sitting there like touching me inappropriately, like trying to like say these like sexual innuendos, like all these things. He's drinking and driving. I should have got out of the car. I don't know what I was thinking. Also, the only reason why we found his friends is because I finally like got his phone and I was like, we're gonna find them, Chase. We find them. He's just like, oh, I didn't see that message. Completely lies about it. Don't care. We remember that from a few days ago, we had met guy number 2, Alan, and Alan was from Houston, and Houston's like pretty close to Galveston. And so I text him and I'm like, hey, is there any way you could come pick us up? I'm so sorry. Did I tell him I was with a bunch of other boys? No. No, I didn't. I said, yes, we need to get picked up. So we are at the beach and Molly and I decide to make a run for it. And we say, hey, we're going to go to, I think we were like, we're going to go look at souvenirs. Whatever. Molly and I make a beeline back to the Airbnb. We are drunk. We have handles of like alcohol. We are literally 18 and 19 years old. Obviously minors in possession. Okay, we finally do get back. Thank God nothing happened to us. Nobody took us or whatever. We get back to the Airbnb. And thank God Alan is there. Okay, so we are throwing ourselves off of the second story, like trying to get all of our crap out of there. They like had left like a hair curling iron and I think a straightener there. Whatever, I digress. But Alan picks us up and as we're pulling off, we literally see the guys coming up and they are pissed. Like actually pissed. And he's blowing up my phone saying like he's gonna hunt me down, he's gonna find me, he knows where I live. All these horrible things. And I understand I shouldn't have probably Irish goodbye, but also girl, like be so for real. I am a scared child, like not child, I'm an adult, but I didn't feel safe and I need to get out of there. So I ended up blocking him. We go back with Alan. Alan drives us from Galveston all the way back to College Station. He drops me off in my apartment, walks us up. We're at Park West and Molly and I go to sleep. We think nothing about it. And Alan's car decides to die in the middle of Park West. So what does Alan have to do? He has to call the first guy, Mark, the guy I was originally talking to come pick him up. Do you know how embarrassing that is? So Mark finds out that Alan and I are obviously talking behind his back or whatever. It makes me look bad, but I just wasn't interested. And yeah, so I have Mark pissed at me. Alan's like called me. He told me 27 times asking why I didn't answer. And then I also had Chase who was pissed at me. Yeah, it was a very, very eventful and growing season for Shelbs. Did I ever do anything like that again? No. Would it have been nice to be able to call my parents and avoid and alleviate that situation? Yeah. Are my parents my best friends yet now? Yes, but yeah. So, I don't know. Have fun in college.
So I just came back from my ex's house. Get ready with me while I tell you that story. So yesterday I posted a get ready with me talking about how I was seeing my ex that day. And honestly, I was scared, but it went well. I can't stop listening to Limp Bizkit right now, so don't mind that in the background, but... So yeah, yesterday I saw him because I had a nail appointment. If you want the whole story, there's a video on my page like I just said. And it was so worth it. Look at these beauties. So yeah, at first, when he first picked me up, it was a bit awkward, but we talked a bit, and like, he asked me at some point, like, if I still wanted to stay over at his house. And I was like, yeah, that could be fun, but only if you're okay with it. And we also talked about the fact that like we agreed to stay friends, and I know some people are not gonna be okay with like staying friends with their exes, and at first I was one of these people, but genuinely I know that I do not want to have a relationship with this person again, and he agrees with me. So like we just agreed to stay off as friends because we still appreciate each other. Like we can stay friends because we still have a lot in common and we love spending time together. A relationship just wasn't working out, and it's okay, it happens, but it's not a reason to lose someone if you have a real connection with them, and we agree on that. I love him. Oh my God. So we did talk about that like on the way to the nail appointment, and honestly it was a bit awkward, but not too much, not like I was expecting. I still had a good ride. We listened to music. It's something we love so much, both of us. It's something that we're truly passionate about, so that was fun. Then I got my nails done, and on the ride back home, we still talked a bit, and in the end, we agreed that I would stay over at his house that night. It was a bit awkward seeing his parents. I only saw his mom, but she is truly the sweetest, and she did not make this awkward at all. She was so happy to see me, and I was too, because his mom is such a cutie. I love her so much. So after that, he went to go take a shower, so I was alone for a bit, like 15 minutes in his room. I was just on my phone, and when he came back, he was only in PJs, PJ pants, like... But after that, we spent like maybe like 45 minutes just on our phones. Okay, and picture this. At some point, I was on my belly and he was next to me laying on his side, but like facing me. And like he asked me like, hey, do you want to cuddle? And I was like, I don't know. So we didn't cuddle. But that's not the end of the story. No, no, no. So after that, at some point, I asked him like, hey, are you okay? Like, just checking up. I always do that. And like, yeah, I'm just a bit bored. So we started talking. Not anything deep, just talking about everything. Work life, everything like that. At some point, it does get a little bit flirty. I'll spare the details, but you know what happened, and it's fine, okay? I was consenting, he was consenting, that's the important. At the end of the night, we did talk a little bit more, but nothing deep. Just, two friends, and I'm happy with that. He did fall asleep cuddling me. Cute. But honestly, I know it's not been that long, but I really did a lot of like self-reflecting, and I truly realized that I do not want to be in a relationship with this person, and I want to stay friends with him. Like, it's still a person I find attractive, and I know I have good chemistry with, so if anything happens, it happens, but I just know it's not going to be a relationship, and I'm fine with that, and he's fine with that, so if we're both fine, we can do it. Anyways, there's not really much else to the story. We saw each other, and we both agreed we had a really good time, and I will see him again, probably next week, because there is a movie we want to see together. He offered it, and I want to see that movie. Love you guys.
Okay, I feel like I just need to rant a little bit. I just got off work. Don't get me wrong, I'm very grateful for my job. Very grateful for this opportunity. And, I'm only 2 hours from home. I understand that the stuff that I'm talking about is very, problems that I can solve, problems it's no big deal. I'm only 2 hours away from home. This was something that I definitely pushed myself to do and take and want. This is an incredible job opportunity. I am very grateful, and I'm very happy that I have this opportunity, and that it's something that I love, it's something that I understand, and it's something that I can do, which I'm very proud of myself for. But moving away from my family and my friends is something that is very out of my comfort zone for me personally. I'm really attached to my people, and it's really hard for me to go out there and put myself out there and figure things out on my own. Well, not like that, but just be alone by myself somewhere. And I don't know, I'm in such a weird in-between, because I always get off work around 6:37, and I have all this time, and I'm trying to keep myself busy. I'm going to the gym, I'm just gonna eating dinner, trying to enjoy my time, my space. But I'm 22, and that's really crazy for this job. I feel like it's such a blessing to have this right out of college. It's a manager in training program. And I feel like I'm in this weird in-between where the people that I work with who are around my age, who are 19 to 25, around the age range of the people that I hang out with, sometimes I feel like I'm too old for them, and sometimes I just want to go out after work, hang out with friends, go to a view and just sit there and talk and unwind with people, but I don't have people here. And back to the weird in-between thing, I feel like sometimes I'm too old for the people that I work with, and obviously these are associates, and there is a power difference because I'm the manager in training, so sometimes they don't want to hang out with me, and that's fine. That doesn't matter. It's okay. That's not what I'm upset about. I understand I'm your manager technically, you wouldn't just want to go out with me to hang out and stuff, even if we're close or trying to get close. But also to the people that have been here for a while, I feel I'm too young, because I'm 22. They've been here for so long, and all their schedules are different, and yes, I want a job that is stable and that I can make a career out of and have it be someplace that I love, which is what this is, and I'm so thankful that I have it. But I'm also 22. I want to live my life. I want to go out with drinks with friends. I want to, like, go out and, like, on walks and hikes and, like, go to a view and just talk about life and just enjoy it, because, like, you only live once. You're only in your, like, early 20s once, and, like, I don't know. It's, like, it's so weird. I don't know. I have tried to keep myself busy on my days off. I've gone to, like, the farmer's market. I went out and, like, went to go find shops and stuff, but I feel like it's so hard to make, like, a good friend here that I can just hang out with, and, like, all my friends are, like, so far away, and full time is, like, beating my ass in, like, the most random way possible. But yeah, I don't know, it just, like, all built up today. I don't know. I think I just want to go out with friends and just not have to worry sometimes, but I don't know. It's sometimes really hard when you move away for the first time and there's no one here that you can lean on. But it's okay. I'll figure it out. It'll be fine. If you stayed this long, thank you. Yeah. I will not be posting many of these crying things, I promise. I don't know. Just wanted to see if anybody else out there felt the same way. But yeah, I hope everyone has a great evening, morning, afternoon, whatever it is. This is so out of character, but it's okay. Thank you for listening. Let me know if you've gone through this, if, like, how you got out of it, I guess. But yeah. Sorry.
You're gonna want to sit down for this. I've been putting off making this video for a couple of weeks now, because I wasn't ready to share what was going on in my life. I will no longer be moving to France. Victor and I are no longer together. For those of you who are new here, Victor is was my boyfriend of about a year. I met him last summer when I stayed in France for 6 weeks. I truly thought that this man was the love of my life, and I was so excited about our future and the life we were going to build in France. And I was at dinner with 3 of my girlfriends a few weeks ago. I had 2 missed calls from Victor, and it was probably 2 a.m. France time, and he asked me to call him back. And he immediately was kind of frantic and saying, "My ex, she found your Instagram, she wants to reach out to you, but she's crazy, don't listen to her." I got a DM from a girl asking if I knew who she was, and at first I actually blocked her because I wanted to trust Victor, and it just didn't even cross my mind that he was capable of doing anything to hurt me. However, my friends encouraged me and convinced me to hear this girl out, and I am so eternally grateful that I did, because she saved me from making a massive mistake. They had gone on 3 or 4 dates together, and that he had spent the night at her place and that they were intimate. Shared with me several screenshots and texts, photos of their conversations just a few weeks ago, literally talking about me. She didn't know that he had a girlfriend. And then when they were together, my name popped up on his watch, and she saw that it was Caitlin with a heart, which is how my name is saved in his phone, and thought that was weird. And then she brought it up to him, and he said, "Oh, it's my cousin from Switzerland. I was his cousin." Afterwards, she like every girl is such an FBI agent, she tracked down his work Instagram and looked through the followers, found Caitlin, me, and went to my page, saw all of my videos of us looking so in love and happy. She said her heart dropped. When I asked him to prove to me that he wasn't lying, he had deleted everything off of his phone, so he has no proof to tell me that he is not guilty. The most difficult part of all of this is that he will not admit that he did it. He is in denial and will not give me closure. Also really struggling with like the death of not only losing him, it feels like a death, but the dream and the future that we had planned together. I had just applied for my visa. I was so excited about our trip this summer. I was planning to go in July for a whole month, and I have decided not to move to France, and I wanted to make this video because I want to maintain this community that I've built up and keep making content. I still love France. It's just gonna take me a little bit of time before I can go back for a visit. So for the immediate future, I will be staying in Atlanta. I'm super grateful that I have a really strong support system here. I have amazing girlfriends. I've realized that infidelity brings out like something, it just triggers something in women. Like, we're all just so fiercely protective of each other. I'm living with my mom right now, so thank God I'm around family. Obviously, this girl makes me feel so much better. I will be focusing on healing. Definitely take a break from men. The silver lining in all of this is that all of this happened before I moved to France. So I still have my job. I didn't sell any of my things. If anyone has any tips or advice on how they got through a breakup, especially one where they were cheated on, I would appreciate any tips. It's all new to me. I was a really confident and trusting partner in relationships, and I don't know how this is going to affect me yet in my future relationships, but I don't want to become a bitter, insecure, untrusting person and believe that there are good people in the world. Everything happens for a reason, and God or the universe, whatever you want to refer to it as, was saving me from something, and this is just a redirection, and better things are to come. I'm gonna be okay.
I was having this debate with my friend yesterday, and I kind of want to know what other people think, so I'm gonna tell y'all. Okay, so basically, when I went to go see Spider-Man the other night, these two guys were leaning their chairs back so much in front of my two friends to the point where they're basically almost touching my friend's legs. In my opinion, I find that to just be rude. Like, I find that to be rude. You can lean your chair back like a little bit, but to the point where you're practically like literally touching my friends, like, I think that's rude. I personally cannot stand when people have like no self-awareness and like things like that. I was in the last row, so I couldn't lean back against somebody anyway, but like if I was in the middle rows, I still wouldn't do that. So I told my friend that, thinking that he would agree with me, because like, I don't know, I find it rude, especially in a small theater when it's so tight. Like, you just don't do that. Don't lean all the way back. Like, I thought he would agree with me, but I was wrong. He was like, well, they're paying for this seat, so they're allowed to do that. Like, if I was there, I would do it too. Like, I'm paying for this seat, I'm gonna do that. Mind you, this is a normal theater. Like, everybody's paying for the same seat. There aren't special reclining chairs. This is a normal theater, so he's not really paying for anything special. Like, he's paying for what everybody else is paying for. So I was like, okay, well, what about on an airplane when people recline their seat in front of you and you literally have no freaking space to do anything? And he's like, well, I would recline my seat because I'm paying for the seat. I'm like, what? Literally, what? The only time, personally, I think it's, like, acceptable to recline your seat on an airplane is during an overnight flight. And even then, I wouldn't do it. When I flew to Portugal back in June, I had an overnight flight, and I did not recline my seat. Like, did the person in front of me recline their seat? Yeah, but I didn't, because I literally hate when it happens to me. So I'm not going to do that to somebody else. I don't want someone else to feel, like, uncomfortable or squished back there. Am I crazy? Am I wrong? I don't know. I just feel like it's rude, and I feel like it's just giving that you have no awareness of, like, other people. Why do you have to lean back so much to the point where you're touching my friend's legs? On a flight, I think it's rude. Like, sure, an overnight flight can be the exception, but I still think it's rude anyway. I get his point, like, oh, you're paying for something, you might as well use what you're paying for. But it's not like you're paying for anything special. Like, you're paying for what everybody else has. So you don't have to be a freaking asshole about it. If you're paying extra for a special seat, that's one thing. Like, obviously, use it up, because you're literally paying for something more. But these people weren't paying for more. It's a normal seat. Like, they ain't paying for it to be reclining. And the one guy literally had a girlfriend with him, and obviously it's not the girlfriend's responsibility to, like, make sure the boyfriend acts right. But I'm sorry, if that was my man, I'd be like, sit the fuck up. So I don't know. Like, what do you guys think? I personally think it's rude, and I would never do that because I hate when it happens to me, and I don't want somebody to feel squished. Like, what? I want people to enjoy the movie, enjoy the flight. Like, I'm not gonna do that. I don't know. To me, it's just giving, like, no self-awareness. Or they have self-awareness. They just, like, don't care about other people, which is worse. So let me know what y'all agree with, because I personally think it's rude. Okay? I think it's rude. He thinks because you're paying for it, you can do it. I'm like, no. No. Okay? So let me know. And I'm gonna go. Bye, y'all.
Okay, guys, story time on why I broke up with my boyfriend. I have to stand up because I'm going to be walking and I'm going to be pacing, and the reason I decided to do this is because I've had Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, now Thursday, 5 days to process, and some things have changed. So I just thought of another lie that this guy told me. So here's the lie. When I went to visit him in West Palm Beach, Wellington area, he had this gorgeous house. The house sold in September for like $700,000. That matched up to his story of he purchased his home in September. Come to find out, later down the road, he had bad credit, and the story was like, he opened up to me about how his mom co-signed on the house. Well, they're of Latin culture, so I just thought, no big deal. They made an investment together, whatever. A little weird because he was 32. I kind of doubted it, but I was like, whatever, it makes sense. At least he's being honest with me about how he tanked his credit and blah, 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 blah. I will also preface by saying this guy truly was a great boyfriend. He did all the right things. He paid for most things. It's not like he was mooching off of me. I'm getting heated. My cortisol. Okay. Blood pressure is up. Just thinking about it pisses me off. First time I ever went to visit him, I was like, your house is gorgeous, but all the decorations kind of looked like just standard. And so I was like, where's all your stuff? Like, he was like, I'm such a minimalist. Like, look at my closet. Like, I barely have anything. And I was like, okay. And he truly is like a minimalist. And I remember being like, I feel like this furniture, like, I don't love it. I mean, I was thinking that. And he was like, oh, I gave my mom and my grandma my credit card. They furnished everything. Like, I just wanted it to look like crisp, and I don't care about decorations. Like, I'm just a guy. All I care about is baseball. Okay, fine. That was first week I went to visit him. He has been lying to me for 5.5 months. I don't even know the timeline. Okay, 2 months ago when we had talks about moving in together, I was tired of doing distance. There was a couple weird things, and I remember being like, babe, how are you going to sell your house? That was the story. He was tired of owning his home. He spent all this money in repairs. He was just he made a bad investment. He's so ready to get rid of his house. So I was like, well, that's not adding up. 2 + 2 is not giving 4. How are you going to get rid of your house in 2 months and be ready to sign a lease with me? And I need to know that information, because if you fall through, I'm going to be on a lease and you're going to be paying half of it. And he was like, just trust, babe. And I will say, this man gave me his location after 3 weeks of knowing me. I always knew where he was. I actually really did trust him. So this is the most bamboozling part. He was like, just trust. And I got mad that night. I was like, 2 + 2 is not giving 4. I need you to explain it to me. And the story was, his mom was going to take over, remove his name as co-owner on the house, and, you know, she was going to do whatever she wanted with it, refinance, blah, blah, blah. A week ago, he even told me, I asked him last week on his birthday, I said, what is your mom going to do with the house now that you're like out of it, or going to be out of it? He said to me straight to my face, she's going to refinance. She's going to rent it out. Neither him nor his mom own this home. He called me Sunday and was like, I feel like before we sign this lease and like before like you uproot your whole life here, like I should tell you the truth. I don't own the home. My mom doesn't own the home. The kid staying with him, one of the kids he coaches from California, close family friend, if that's even true, that family was paying for this house in exchange for Michael to be, I shouldn't have said his name, for him to be living there rent free, and that was the exchange, just so he could take care of the kid and be his like guardian. Also 2 weeks ago, I was like, you're not responsible. You have 7 missing light bulbs. You have a rat problem. This kid is trashing his side of the house. And he was like, and now we know why he couldn't be responsible, because it's not his house. It doesn't matter. And the craziest part is lying to me about over $5,000 of repairs. The repairs actually happened, but he didn't pay for them. It was a fucking rental. And we also already put $550 down on the apartment we were going to move into in 6-7 weeks. And thank God he paid me back for that. But yeah, after this whole conversation, like, I blew the fuck up. And I'm like, yeah, I texted my ex. Like, I don't care. I don't care. Like, he brought out like a 2 out of 10 old crazy Kristen. He's blessed he didn't get the 10 out of 10 crazy Kristen. And I was in shock. This was like 3 hours later. I at least told him the truth. And I was just like, I need space. Like, I need space. I don't think we're going to be able to work through this. He was like, I'm not a liar. I'm not a compulsive liar. I was like, do you want me to give you the definition? I give it to him. He's like, that's not me. His reasoning for lying is that he wanted to not impress me, but like he didn't feel worthy enough to tell me the truth, and he was ashamed of where he like was at. And I'm sorry, I didn't care if he owned a home. It was such a stupid thing to lie about, but the lie isn't the problem. If he would have told me that 3 weeks in, sure. How do you say you love someone? How do you say you want to marry them? How do you say you want them to be the mother of your children? How do you say that like you think you've waited all this time to like find the perfect girl and like you're so blessed? Like, he made me feel so good and so confident and so safe. He was always like, I'm your rock. You can trust me with anything. And meanwhile, premeditatively, he was waking up every single day, coming up with more lies, more lies, more lies, more lies to keep this one lie spinning. And he didn't have the balls to even say it to me in person. Last week, I spent $400 on a Apple Watch for him for a gift. And I'm not getting heated because I care about this person. I'm getting heated because this is diabolical behavior. Like, once I learned, okay, so I spent $400 on the Apple Watch, took him to a $200 dinner. He didn't even have the balls to say this to my face. He waited till I'm home. He waited a week later, and he told me the truth. And like, he's like, I'm not trying to sound all noble, but like, I'm so glad I told you. Don't care. How about you don't lie to someone? Also, you're 32. Does he even have a college degree? I know he has a job. Does he even make 6 figures? What's his history with women like? I don't know. And the whole thing, guys, is just so crazy. There's so many other lies. Like, this was another thing that I just thought about. So when I went on his TV, like, this guy was so trustworthy that I didn't even get an intuition about anything other than like one time. It was his Hulu account, and I was like, I thought it was his mom. And I was like, who is that? And he was like, oh, I don't know. He was like, I've had this TV for so long, which the TV was old. So I was like, okay. And he was like, I just never wanted to pay for it, so I just kept it. And I was like, okay, cool. And never thought about it again. Didn't get fishy. Didn't feel like it was his ex. Nothing like that. It was like a mom name, something like that. And now we know why there was a different name on his TV, because it was not his TV. It was a fully furnished rental. And it's just so crazy. I got this guy's dog ESA certified under my name so we could have 3 pets. Like, the nerve, and he's ghosted me, guys. So he has not responded to me since Sunday. I sent him a text saying I'm so confused, trying to make sense of this. Haven't heard from him, don't care. It's so crazy that somebody can be such a con artist, and that is baffling to me, but I'll tell you what. I did everything right. I put my ex behind me during this relationship. I was not talking to anyone else. I was super loyal. I have a really traumatic past. I kept the traumatic past in the freaking past. I proceeded to go to therapy every week, work through anything that I was concerned about in a relationship. I was a healthy communicator. Crazy Kristen was not involved here. I was such a good girlfriend. I was open, I was honest, I was vulnerable, I was communicative, I was loving. I opened up my heart to this person. I trusted him. I was not psycho. And you know what? It's his loss. It's truly his loss in life. And like, a lot of people have texted me, like, how do you ever, like, you have the worst luck, like, blah, 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 blah. Like, how do you even like go about dating again? And my answer is because I trust me and I trust God, because God delivered me the truth on a silver platter. And I know that God has always got my back, and I trust my own intuition. I had to see these things through. Hindsight is always 20/20. I felt weird, right, about like a couple things, but nothing alarming enough to break up with him over. And every story just made perfect sense to me. We even have flights to go visit my family in 2 weeks. I'm still going home. He can fuck right off. But yeah, to ghost me is like kind of diabolical. But there was a lot missing. I really kind of missed my ex the whole time, if I'm being honest. And I just pushed it aside of like, I don't know what healthy love looks like. I'm just grieving my really traumatic past. Like, I truly believed that I was doing everything right to commit and have this healthy partner. The thing that I thought was missing, I really thought it was like toxicity, and that this is like my first ever healthy relationship, and you're supposed to have a little doubt here and there. So yeah, this was a really long story time, but hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.
My older sister is getting married spring of 2027, so next spring. And she's the eldest daughter. There's 5 of us kids in my family. So she, naturally, being the eldest daughter, has always been the one to plan, like, all the birthday parties, all the celebrations, all the stuff. And we also have 7 nieces and nephews, so yeah, she tends to plan a lot of the stuff. But yeah, so she's getting married next spring, and I'm her maid of honor. And I'm also a full-time college student, and I'm about to start a very intense program in 2 weeks for school. And between class schedule, study schedule, clinical schedule, I will only be working 1 or 2 days a week. So I'm broke, basically. I'm broke. And it makes me sad because, like I said, she's always planned everybody else's stuff, and her expectations are on the ground for how much I can do for a bachelorette party. Like, she's not expecting anything big or extravagant because she knows I can't afford it. So, that being said, I decided, why don't I make a TikTok account and see if I can get literally any traction, because I've seen TikTok do great things for people, whether it's paying off debt or blessing people so that they can bless others. So I'm going to be making random videos to post on here to try and save some money for a bachelorette trip for her, a wedding gift, bridal shower, like all the things. I want to be able to celebrate her and celebrate her loudly. But yeah, so this is what this account's going to be for. I guess some things about me. My name's Karina. Also, I did block her on this account because it's a surprise. If this goes anywhere, it's gonna be a big surprise if she gets like a weekend bachelorette trip. So yeah, that's what we're here for. So I guess some things about me, and I guess some ideas that I can be posting about. I like to read, have a whole bookshelf behind me. Haven't read in a long time probably because my gosh dang phone, you know. I never have the desire to read anymore, which is a problem. Maybe this will inspire me. But I like to read, I like to do puzzles, I like to crochet, which this is actually, I just learned how to crochet in June. So I was feeling very ambitious, and I started to make a blanket. And this is where we are right now. It's not perfect, but hey, I don't care. I love grandma hobbies. I like to crochet, I like diamond art, I like doing jigsaw puzzles, I like Sudoku puzzles. I love listening to music. Oh my gosh, I love music so much. Big folk and indie girl. Yeah, I actually got to see NoahCon in Atlanta on Monday. That whole day was literally a miracle because we showed up, got tickets from the box office after waiting in line for 5 hours, and went in right as the doors opened and got upgraded to the floor 30 minutes after we sat down. Because I guess they were taking random people from the nosebleeds to move them to better spots. So that was really incredible. I love food. Who doesn't? The only sport that I watch is soccer or football, if you will, because that's what I played in high school. Maybe I'll also post like my study tips or something. I don't know. The world is my oyster. Also, if there's any brands that, want to send me some stuff for like bridesmaids baskets or bags or whatever, I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't complain. Anyways, yeah. So I guess stay tuned for this journey if anything happens.
Story time about how my boyfriend won his ex-girlfriend a prize and gave it to her while we were on a date. Essentially, me and my boyfriend at the time, we went to a carnival and he asked me to be his girlfriend on the Ferris wheel. The entire time, his ex was there and he would not stop talking about her. He thought I didn't know that they dated. After he asked me to be his girlfriend, he wouldn't stop talking about how she's such a sweet person, how she's so amazing. He would not stop talking about her. That girl, let's call her Sam. Sam was my friend, and I really liked Sam. I just didn't think he liked Sam too. I was trying to ignore the red flags until he says, let's follow her. I was hesitant because Sam was with a friend and also their exes, so that would be really, really weird. But I was like, you know what? She's my friend. I can approach her. We approached Sam, and she's fine with me, but she clearly doesn't want anything to do with boyfriend. For background, boyfriend hates going on rides, and I tried to get him on one the entire date, but suddenly when she mentions a ride, he's down for it. So me, boyfriend, Sam, and Sam's friend all go on one of the rides, and during the ride, Sam mentions, I really want this Jamaican banana from the concessions, or wherever you win prizes. She was like, I didn't have enough tickets though, but it's okay. Before he said this, I told boyfriend that I wanted to get one of the big plushies as well. We leave the ride, and immediately after we leave the ride, boyfriend keeps going, we should get her the Jamaican banana. We should get her the Jamaican banana. Oh my gosh, that'd be so nice. I want the best for Sam because she was my friend, But I thought it was a little weird that he wanted to win her a plush, and I was like, how are you gonna put me like first? How are you gonna get me one if you're gonna get her the Jamaican banana? You see what I'm saying? And it wasn't even about the plushie. I could care less about a plushie. It's the idea that he was putting his ex before me, his new girlfriend, his brand new girlfriend. So I decided to do a test. I wanted to see if he was gonna put me over her. Every time we walked by one of the prize booths, I would point out one of the big ones and be like, oh, that one's so cute, that one's nice. If I ever won that one, I'd be so happy. And I was just dropping, you know, hints. Boyfriend was like, yeah, we'll get you one. The time comes when he wins the prize, and the person who's running the booth looks at me and goes, oh, which one do you want? Because usually the guy buys it for the girl. I say, oh my gosh, that one's so cute. Boyfriend completely ignores me, and he grabs the Jamaican banana. In my mind, I was still confident that he was gonna get me something because, well, I'm his new girlfriend. He grabs it, and he immediately goes to, let's go find her, let's follow her, let's look at her location on Snap Map, and let's follow her. He seems so excited to meet up with his ex, way more than he ever was for winning me a gift. So we're carrying this giant banana that's not for me all around the place trying to find her, and we finally find her. Since they're exes, and he didn't know that I knew, I offered to hand her the banana because her ex handing her the banana, who she clearly wasn't interested in, would be really weird. He insisted that he handed his ex her prize. I decided to give him a little hint that I knew they were exes, and I went, I don't think she would like you handing that to her. He was like, and then he went, we can both give it to her at the same time, like both hold it and like give it to her. I was like, nothing else is gonna work, so I guess so. We're both holding it, and as we get closer to her, he takes it away from my grip, so now it's just him holding it. He hands his ex-girlfriend the banana. She's clearly like, what the heck? Her friend is clearly like, what the heck? I'm just standing behind boyfriend, smiling awkwardly because, what the heck? And I couldn't do anything about this because we had a near 2-hour drive back home from this place, and I couldn't just break up with him. We're about to leave, and he goes to the bathroom, and I start texting my friends, like, everything that just happened. Like, what the heck? We leave, and we get into his dad's truck, and he's so persistent in texting her from my phone. Boyfriend was like, we should text her. Ooh, text her this. She'll know it because it's an inside joke. And then tell her that it's me. I was like, how can this get any worse? I let him text her. Listen, it was a new relationship. I was giving it a chance. Sam was not interested in boyfriend. Boyfriend, on the other hand, no clue what was running through his mind. The moral of the story is, ladies, if he's still into his ex, leave him immediately. Or else you'll end up making a mistake like I did. That's it for this story time. Bye.
Story time about the worst Hinge date that I've ever been on. Disclaimer, this was my first and only one I've gone on, and I seriously did not ever imagine me going to social media to explain a story like this, but I'm a big person about holding someone accountable for their actions, especially men who think it's just okay to say and treat women with such disrespect that is actually so disgusting. So this is going to be a multiple part series. This one is just going to be the dates. So it was a couple days ago, actually. I got back on Hinge. I previously have not been in a relationship for the past couple of months, which doesn't really matter because it's none of your fucking business. But I got on Hinge and I met with this guy named Kyle. So insert photo now. Yeah, so like the most basic white guy that you're ever gonna see in your life before, so it was perfect. I'm in Ohio, he went to Bowling Green, chit-chat a little bit, and saw that I really liked books, and then we actually decided to meet at a bookstore that is right by my place. So I go there first because, again, like, this was my first ever Hinge date or just date off of a, dating app. I was super nervous. I had no idea, what to expect. I haven't really dated too much, but, I was really open to trying something new. So he shows up, he was super nice, respectful, like, gives me a hug, we go into the bookstore, we're chit-chatting the entire time, like, the connection is flowing, he, is very cute, has, awesome tattoos, we're, going through, we both have really bad ADD, or have really bad ADD, so it's, the conversation's never fucking ending, it's going back and forth, and we're, trying to find funny books, this and that, and it's really cool. So he told me that he's 26, about to turn 27 next month in September, keep that in mind, and he said he was actually just starting to go back to school for nursing, and that he had an online job for the past 4 years, and he graduated from Bowling Green State University. So I'm like, okay, cool. Right down the road from me, and he said he had just recently moved back from Michigan. So obvious first question, what brought you to Michigan if you had an online job and you're from this area? And he said that he had moved for his previous girlfriend. And I'm like, cool, okay, at least in my opinion, everyone else has, different takes on this. From my point of view, being able to talk about a past relationship says a lot about that person's character, especially if you can do it in a very mature light, not bashing the other party. And that's all he said. And then I think, I explained that I graduated college in 3 years and that, I had gone back to visit my friends a lot in my relationship at the time. Not a big deal, moved on. That was literally the littlest conversation, lasted less than a minute. Talked about his family, what he's doing, all the, personal stuff on his end. And then I'm a talker, so I get in what I need to say about myself. So we walked around like this little cute place by my apartment, going to another store that had a lot of jewelry that I'm like, oh, like this is so cute, love these bracelets. And then he's, saying like, oh, I got my high school girlfriend a Kendra's like Scott bracelet. And I'm like, oh, like cool, like did she like it? That's like so nice, like, just cute little things like that, because like I obviously am, I might be 22, but I'm confident and mature in myself that like, yeah, you had past relationship, that's totally cool and that's fine. Like I'm not that jealous person that's gonna freak out if you mention an ex. I'm just a normal person. So I obviously was nervous also just during it. I'm like, have you ever been on a hinge date before? And like I told him like, this is my first, like I don't usually do this. He was very nice about it. He's like, oh, I've just been on one other. So girl, if any of the girls around here has gone out with Kyle, I'm not gonna say his last name, but he said, do you ever just meet someone and then just know that you're never gonna see them again? So that's how he talked about you, if you wanted to know. But he went on just about, he's had a couple girlfriends, and I'm like, oh yeah, like I've had a couple boyfriends. It's a mature conversation. We end up going to dinner. Dinner was amazing. Like again, like our conversations were constantly flowing. We were just talking about like our lives, this and that, and, like different things. Like it honestly, like the best date I've ever been on. So I had asked because again, it shows a lot on your character how you speak about your ex. So I was like, how long ago did you and your ex end, and like what happened? And he starts off and goes, well, we just didn't agree on some things. Yeah, like totally valid. I was like, yeah, and he asked about mine, and I just briefly said like we just didn't, we saw two different lives for ourselves, two different paths. Super cool, whatever. But mine had ended in early May, and his was almost a year ago, so not even a year, almost a year. But that makes a difference. And then it starts like storming out. So like we ran to his car, he drives me back, and he's like, so like, are we gonna do this again, like this and that? And I'm like, yeah, like I was like, I would be really interested in doing this again. Like I sat in his car for like 15 more minutes. We literally just chit chatting. I like looked down, and there's a pink little knife, like a pink kitchen knife, just laying on his floor. And I'm like, what is this? Like I'm just like blind to all the red flags. And he's like, oh, haha, like I lost my like little knife thingy, so this is my safety thing. And I was like, oh, like okay, like again, I'm just ignoring all the red flags are coming at me, and I'm like totally valid. And I was like, hope to see you soon. And we're going to wait for a little bit. So he was like, yeah, like totally. And then, we also chit-chatted about some other things. So some things, he like complained about his parents being Christian and how like, he smokes the devil's lettuce, if you know what I mean, and how his parents don't know, and like this and that. And then like talks about more about his brother. Like I could tell you all the tea. Like he just like let loose and told me the truth about so much about his family drama and like things like that. So I was just like, okay, like this dude's obviously really comfortable and is very open with me. Like I thought this date went amazing. Left the car, literally a double rainbow. I gasped. I'm like, oh my God, this is a sign. Like this date went so well. There's a fucking rainbow as I'm leaving the car. But I'm gonna save the rest for part 2 because it gets worse. So anyways, I did leave the car, and then that was it for the night. So the date was amazing, but the way that this man acted after was the most immature and childish thing I've ever experienced in my entire life. This is part 2 of the worst and only hinge date I've ever been on, and this is again just to hold men accountable because I'm sick of men treating women like shit for no goddamn reason. So this is part 2. Left off that I left the date. Literally the date went absolutely amazing. Like no complaints there. I thought we vibed heavy, So the next day he texted me close to 4 p.m. and just says, hey Ange, I had a really fun time yesterday. I did want to ask what you were looking for right now since you mentioned you ended a relationship in May, right? I said I had a great time yesterday as well. I'm figuring out what I'm looking for, meaning if I like someone, I'm not going to run from it. Does that make sense? The relationship ending previously wasn't because I didn't want a relationship. We just saw two different paths for our lives. Simple answer, looking for fun and seeing where that leads me. I said, oh yeah, I get that for sure. Just was asking because as it is now, I probably would be looking for something more short term, having fun type of thing with you. From personal experience and other people, a few months just isn't enough time to let go of like subconscious emotional baggage that follows that sort of thing. Looks like we're on the same page though, pretty much, because you did mention the ex twice and also asked some stuff about mine. So just wanted to be upfront. Laughy face, smiley with the little sweat emoji. Again, this man is almost 27, so I just want you all to keep that in mind while I go through these texts because I will be saying like his emojis and his acronyms. But first I want to address like, okay, you're not interested. I totally get that. Like, you don't need to explain anything to me, but like, do not come to me acting like you know what I've gone through, that you know my relationship. Everyone experiences stuff differently. Just because, oh, you might not have moved on in a certain way does not mean that that is the same for me. But if you don't like how I did that, that's fine. But like, don't be putting that on me. Like, go to some other girl. Like, I'm not that bitch, Like, I handle my shit way differently, and you have no idea how I even handled it. And also, he brought up his exes so many times before me, like, buddy, like, you're the one that started it, but that's fine, but whatever. So, I just said, I liked the one message about the same page. I said, casual it is for sure, but for reference, your experience isn't how everyone else may feel. So he goes, yeah, casual's cool. Just saying though, any mention of an ex on a first date is just a big flag. If in the future you're looking for something long-term with someone, or you just end up with some sucker who's desperate and doesn't care. So again, like the previous text, I have no interest in this man anymore. Like, fuck him. Like, you don't act like you know what I've been through. Like, you obviously have some of your own unresolved issues that you were hiding. Like, just don't bring that on to me. So I'm done. I just liked his message and that was it. Like, you don't need to answer. I think we're like pretty clear on the same page that like you're immature as fuck. And as a 22-year-old having to tell an almost 27-year-old, like I should not need to do that. And so he responded again after I liked the message. LOL, I had a good time yesterday, but I'm good on this TH. Have a good one. So I respond, you too. That again, you did not have to respond to that. But he did. So he goes on. I do want to say I apologize for coming at ya. Wasn't very cool the way I worded it all. Guess I just know how it feels to be on both sides of what I'm talking about. Haven't really done casual all that much either. That's what I meant by picky yesterday. LMA or LMFAO. So again, totally valid. Also, again, he was talking about all of his previous relationships, saying how picky he is. Like, I'm not bringing up my relationships, buddy. You are. But I did appreciate the apology. I'm like, all right, like he's trying to redeem himself in the apology aspect, but like, I think we're like pretty clear that like maybe we're not the same vibe. Like, Whatever. So I responded. I said, it's alright, I'm a pretty headstrong woman, so sorry if I seem bitchy by like just liking the message. I truly only asked about the dating history because it shows the other person's character on how they talk about them. Didn't mean to make you uncomfortable or cause a red flag to pop up. I'm new to this all. Also, I only brought up mine once after you asked, so I need to clarify that one. I've never done casual or anything like this before. This is all new to me, and I truly did not mean to offend you in any way. And what I was trying to say about the different experiences is that, as I'm sure you did, we censor some things. No one knows what happened in a relationship except those in a relationship, so a new party can't predict when someone feels or what someone feels when that person leaves a relationship. But I won't harp on it. I get you're not interested, and that's totally fine. I appreciate you being able to communicate that with me instead of just ghosting or something. I wish you the best of luck in your studies. I was and am extremely impressed on you going back to school to pursue something you're interested in rather than staying in a career field you aren't passionate about. So again, he could have just liked the message and left it at that, but he did not. He goes, appreciate the kind words on school, and LOL, if we being real here, you mentioned him when we were at the bookstore, slightly, and then I mentioned my high school girlfriend at Fiddlesticks, and then you asked about mine at Bar Louie, so I asked about yours. Laughy face, dizzy-eyed emoji. Sounds like you're coping hard and have some unresolved healing work to do. I've been there. No hard feelings, girl, hope you find a good rebound though. Have a good one. Are you fucking serious? Again, a man that is almost 27 years of fucking age has the audacity to come at me and talk about a rebound and all this healing. You don't know anything about me at all. You don't know how I was raised. You don't know my dating history. You don't know fucking anything about me other than what I have selected to tell you. And you think you can come at me and tell me how to live my life, how to fucking heal from things that... Heal from what, buddy? Oh, you don't know? Because I didn't tell you? Yeah, like, literally, the fact that I sent such a kind, and I genuinely mean it, like, great, like, we're not compatible, like, I truly do wish you the best, like, I really do, but the best not in my life, you know, like, I wasn't trying to be rude, I thought I said pretty mature, you know, like, responses, you know, I thought I handled this pretty well, and this man, like, took a gun, like, shot me down, and then took, like, an automatic one, and just kept shooting, because I was down, like, he literally knows nothing about me, and the fact that he thinks he can disrespect me like this baffles me, so we will finish in part 3. Alright, this is part 3. Of the worst hinge date man I have ever been on a date with. The only one too. But for reference, like literally during this date, like I was like, I hit the jackpot. Like somehow cards were dealt and I was that dating app girly that went on there once and found the fucking great man during this date. And the fact that he switched up so fast within 24 hours, just again, like it baffles me. It truly baffles me. So we left off with him wishing me good luck to find my rebound, which wasn't you, baby. So I was just so fed up because again, like I'm only making these videos to hold men accountable because you cannot treat a woman like this. You truly cannot treat a woman like this. And my TikTok girlies got me because he already said that this was going to go viral on Reddit. So it's like, babe, how about the TikTok girlies got me now? So he wished me good luck finding my rebounds. And I responded. I said, all right, mister, we could have ended there, but you could not stop. I have no unresolved healing to work on. Not that I have to explain anything, but I made peace with my past and moved on. Can you say the same? Please don't assume or comment about how I'm supposed to feel. You're honestly acting like a child, telling me about a rebound. You don't know me, and you don't know what I've been through, and vice versa. I was truly trying to be kind and give you props for being mature and communicating, but it seems like age truly does not make a difference in these situations. I stand by what I said and wish you the best of luck, but maybe next time you go on a date, you don't attack the woman with these boyish claims. So then, I'm like, I'm done. Like, this man is clearly just trying to get a reaction out of me. Like, I understand that. But again, like, I'm putting you in your fucking place, dude. Like, I'm exposing you. I will literally go to the ends of the fucking earth because you are shitty. Like, you are a shitty man, and you cannot treat women like this. You truly cannot. You said you were raised in a Christian household, but somehow continuously disrespect a woman that you met once and have no idea anything about her. Like, I'm so sorry that you were raised incorrectly. Like, that is not my problem. But do not come to me with the blazing fire. So I blocked him, but then this morning at my workout class, you know, I was getting heated. I was like, I want to go on my computer and see what this man fucking said. And that's why I'm reading these messages from my computer. So he responded yesterday, like after I blocked. He goes, LOL. Again, I'm almost 27, and I did not use one of those. I'm 22 years old. Like, oh my god. LOL, what did you say? Happy days. I made peace with my past. Yes. Okay. Talk about your high school girlfriend 10 years ago. That's why I wouldn't want to repeat it with how you're showing yesterday and today based off your defensiveness. This combo could go on Reddit thread for real. Yeah, buddy, because of how fucking foolish you act. So what I'm gonna say about that is, yes, if a man is being extremely disrespectful, rude, childish, list goes on, I will defend myself because you cannot treat a woman like this. So I sent a very lovely text back, today. I said, it really could for how childish an almost 27-year-old boy is acting to a 22-year-old woman. But I digress. If you really wanted to be told up, you could have just asked. If you really wanted a confidence boost, since you clearly have to overcompensate, wonder why, I was not the woman. I defend myself when a little boy like yourself pulls up like this. Listen, I totally get that me asking basic questions triggered you, but the way you acted is completely immature. I'm sure you have not dated much since asking questions like this is normal, but who am I to assume some creep like yourself would have experience? Not sure how you were raised in a Christian household when you can't even properly communicate and respect a woman. Well, that also does make sense. I'm sure you'll learn this in your community college courses. He goes to Owens Community College for nursing, but he's not even in the nursing program yet, so your community college courses, but boys' brains do mature a lot slower than women's do, which this is a great example of. You truly messed with the wrong woman. You took what is probably totaled 5 minutes about both of us talking about our past way too far, which you clearly talk more about since you even went into your high school girlfriend. I think someone still holds on to that shit that happened 10 years ago. So I'll leave it at this. Don't mess with a crystal bitch if you don't want bad things to happen. The only emoji I sent the entire time was here. Smiley face, heart emoji. And I said, P.S. They don't, he wants to be a travel nurse, because his one friend named Bank. I said, P.S. They don't have travel nurses in hell. Oh my god. Did someone listen while the other swaddled his micro penis? It truly brings me joy to tell off an incompetent, disrespectful, and immature boy. And on your brother's birthday of all days. So yeah, so apparently yesterday was his brother's birthday because again, like I listened. We're just talking about our past relationships. That was literally less than 5 minutes, but he was talking about how the next day, which was yesterday, was his brother's birthday. So like he was sending me all these nasty texts on his fucking brother's birthday. Like go celebrate with your brother, not come at me. And he was also like his name's Kyle. He was making fun of his name being Kyle and his brother's name being Connor. He's like, those are the most basic names our parents named us. Like totally ripping at his brother, and his family. And then was telling me all this like personal family drama. Like you see how like I did not. It's like say it was like, oh my god, that was like way too much on a first date, like drama up, like telling me all your family secrets and this and that. Like no, I did not take that personally, because I was like, oh my gosh, like the conversation's flowing, like we're talking about so many different things, like didn't even occur to me. And I think in general it taught me that, well, one, whoever dated him in the past, which on the photo that I posted you can clearly see his ex is in it, he just cut her out. Whoever that was, girl, literally my heart goes out to you, because that man is a complete psycho, and I really hope you're the one that ended it, and if not, that's okay, but I hope he's paying for your therapy, because you probably sure need it. That man is absolutely insane, and if you don't, girl, we need to start a support group, because I went on one date with this man, and I swear to God, I'll burn him to hell. Like, you do not treat a woman like this, and, as our generation is getting older and raising men, like, it gives me hope, because I know that we will not put up with this, but, like, yeah, the words are lost upon me for some man to, again, disrespect me so bad, and, like, I need to reiterate, like, I never wanted to go to social media and post something like this, ever. Like, I am not that girl. I try to keep my love life, romantic life off social media, but what I will not stand for is men blatantly disrespecting women. He disrespected the other girl he dated. He disrespected me. I, like, missed all the red flags. But he could have just said he wasn't interested. There was so many times during those text messages, he did not have to respond. He could have stopped. He could have just been like, left it at goodbye, da-da. But no, he had to keep going. For what reason? I don't know if it brought him joy or whatever, but clearly that man has some issues. So if you ever meet a guy named Kyle that is possibly going into nursing, that goes to Owens Community College, run, because that man is literally crazy. And if you've dated anyone in the past probably 10 years since you went back to high school, run, because apparently that's not enough time to heal your heart. So I hope everyone enjoyed my story time, and we'll stay the fuck away from that man. Love you, Kyle.
Ladies, this is why we always trust our gut. I just found out that a guy that I went on a date with about 3 or 4 years ago has a restraining order and a DV charge. The crazy thing about all of this is that when I left the date, I called one of my girlfriends. It's gonna be a no for me, because there's just something about him that gives me DV energy. That's exactly why I say to hold your ground and to trust your gut. And other people don't have to believe you in order for you to just stay true to yourself. Sure enough, I was like, nope, it's gonna be a no for me. And I've kind of kept tabs on him ever since, because there was just something that in my gut didn't sit right. And sure enough, I just found out this week that he has a restraining order out against him, and he's been charged with DV. And I feel like that's the thing with red flags, especially when you're dating. You almost have to be looking at things like through a microscopic lens. Like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack type of red flag, or at least from my perspective. So when I was telling my girlfriend after the date about the date, she kind of was like, I don't know, Amanda, I think you're overreacting. I feel like maybe you're just not ready to date. I was like, girl, no, that's not the case. So these are a couple of the things that I noticed right off the bat while we were on our first date that I was like, no, time out. This is giving red flag. There was nothing bad about the date. Let me just say that. So he came off super nice, really charming, very sweet. On pen and paper, he looks like he has his shit together. On
Get ready with me for date night while I tell you all about how me and my boyfriend met. I'm aware of all this. I put my dry shampoo in my hair and let it marinate, and then I brush through it. Okay, wow, this is gonna be like crazy. I hope I tell you all I'm like good enough because it's gonna be a hot mess. So basically, date this back to like 7th grade. Me and my best friend were hanging out and a guy came over, and him and my friend like liked each other, sort of like chit-chatting. Disclaimer, still 7th grade, so it's not weird if you like third wheel, y'all all just kind of hang out. Anyways, they had been chit-chatting, and so they all three wanted to hang out. And me being the dumbass I am, I was just like, yeah, like, I'll third wheel this up. And he was like, no, I'm bringing a friend for you, I'm bringing a friend for you. And I was like, no, like, it's okay, like, you don't have to. And he still brought a friend. So my 7th grade self is like shitting bricks. I'm like, Anyways, I'm gonna make this like a long story short on the 7th grade part. All four hung out, like it was fine. I was so awkward. I like would not sit by him at the couch, and he kept moving by me, and I would just like. Anyways, he ended up adding me on Snap. We started talking, and then he asked me out. He did ask me out like a month later, like it wasn't that fast. We dated for about like 8-ish months. He literally like broke my heart. Like when he broke up with me, my 7th grade mind could not grasp that fact. Other disclaimer, we just like broke up because he was growing up and just needed his space. Anyways, now we're gonna fast forward all the way to end of sophomore year, like start of junior year. I had seen him at this party. I didn't talk to him at all. Like I just saw him and I was awkward as fuck because like I literally hadn't seen him since like 8th grade. I was minding my business the whole time, like literally didn't speak to him at all. And that was that. And then his sister needed to borrow my homecoming dress for her dress. And he happened to be in the neighborhood with that same friend that put me on with him like in 7th grade. So his mom just sent him out to come get them. And I walked out and I was crying. I was like bawling my eyes out because there was some rumor going on about me, and I was just so frustrated. I was literally like bawling my eyes out. But he was there to pick up these dresses, so I like walked out looking like an actual idiot. And he took me to go get ice cream. He was like, what's wrong? I was like, I don't really want to talk about it. Like, I'm just having a rough time or whatever. And he literally took me out to go get ice cream. So we go get ice cream, whatever. We were just chit-chatting, nothing like too serious. And he added me on Snap again. So whatever, we're snapping and stuff. Again, literally nothing too crazy, just snapping. And I remember one time he had like complimented me, and I was like, whoa. This is where your girl starts playing the field a little bit. So I'm with that same friend, like full circle moment, from 7th grade. And we all four hung out again, like same one from 7th grade, you know, full circle moment. And she had just went home because we were all like done hanging out. But I was still with Cade and his friend, and I was starving. We all three went to Cane's, and the drive-thru line was actually insane. So I was like, I'll just go inside and get it real quick. And Cade didn't have shoes, so I was like, you are not going in there. And he kept trying to get me to take his phone to use his card to pay. And, you know, me being the bitch I am, and like the genius I am, I was like, no. And I literally walked in, didn't take it, and he got so mad. He got so mad. He was literally like, no, I need to buy your food, like, da-da-da-da-da-da, why would you do that, why would you do that? But I used it as an excuse. I came back out, and I literally, like, Rizzler of the year, I looked at him and I was like, well, you're just gonna have to take me out again. So, anyways, he said, bet. And then one day I was with my friend at her house because, you know, just hanging out. And he texted me and he was like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, with my friend. He was like, well, I really want to go out with you. And I was like, oh, like, sorry, maybe like tomorrow or something. I'm with my friend. He still took me out. He took out me and my friend. He paid for us. So I'm sitting in my cheer coach's room on a Monday, and he's like, what are you doing later? Like, can I take you out? Like, are you busy? And I was like, yes. Like, where do you want to go? And he told me we were going to sushi at my favorite spot. I was literally so happy. Short little disclaimer, we had hung out multiple times, like, in between this and when we started talking again. They were just, like, random little hangouts or, like, going to pick Chick-fil-A up, so I just didn't include those. But anyways, he turns his location off, and I'm on like my girl's private story, like actually like flipping shit. I'm like, okay, he literally hasn't answered me since school got out and turned his low off. Like, am I fried? Like, am I an idiot? What the hell is going on? He turns his low back on and he's like, come outside whenever I get there. And I'm like, whoa, buddy, like, what is going on? And whatever, I'm like shitting bricks because I'm like, okay, why the fuck was your low off for so long? Whatever. And I come outside and he has pink roses. So whatever, he takes me out, we go get sushi. It's like so fun. I just remember like I was smiling so much. And then he put on the song 2 Dozen Roses, and I remember it's like the first like song he actually like sang in front of me. But anyways, we get back to my house, we're just hanging out, and then he asked me to be his girlfriend. And it has just been such a roller coaster with him. He's genuinely the sweetest guy ever. Like, I'm forever blessed for him. We are actually going to hit 1 year this September, and it's just such a full circle moment. Also, homecoming was literally a week after he asked me out, and he still came. Like, he asked me out, and his sign was, I'm not gonna say it wrong, but it was something like, if I had 2 dozen roses, Hoko, something like that. It was really cute. But he was a trooper for that one because he knew literally 0 people there. Anyways, guys, this is your sign. If it's meant to be, they will come back to you, and God always has a plan for you. But I love y'all all so much. Let me know if you have any questions. I kind of suck at telling stories. But anyways, I love y'all all, and I hope you have an amazing day.
This is the nightmare story time of my travel experience with United Airlines last week when I was going from Texas to Belgium. Okay, so it all started, I left Houston and I flew to Washington to make my connecting flight to go to Brussels. I left Houston, I only brought a carry-on specifically so I wouldn't have to worry about losing my luggage. And I make it to Washington, I board my flight to go to Brussels. As I'm boarding, the sassy, attitude-fueled flight attendant tells me that the upper compartments are full and there's no room for my carry-on suitcase, takes it from me and says, we're gonna have to check this. I said, okay. They didn't give me any baggage number, no information on where my bag is going, but they said that they were going to check it. I arrive in Brussels, lo and behold, surprise to no one, my luggage is not there. My suitcase was essentially taken off of the airplane in Washington and left, I guess, in Washington. So lovely. I'm in Belgium and I don't have a suitcase. I lost all of my jewelry, all of my nice jewelry that I own, every single piece of nice jewelry, all of my makeup, all of my festival outfits, all of my skincare was in that suitcase. Was an AirTag in that suitcase? No. Why? Because it was a carry-on. So that's fine. I go to the Lost and Found at the Brussels airport and they tell me that they can have my suitcase in Brussels the next day on the same flight, just the following day. So I was planning on going to the airport to pick it up. I did so. Again, they don't have my suitcase in Brussels. And not only that, but they look into the system and they look, once they took my suitcase off the plane, they registered a bag tag number for the suitcase. And 6 minutes later, the system shows that someone deleted the bag tag number. So now there's no way to track my bag. And then they're telling me the only way to find your bag is to identify it by the way it looks. It's a plain black suitcase. So, okay, I'm not gonna let that ruin my trip. I go buy some new clothes for the festival. I get some cheap makeup from the pharmacy and I still had a good time. I was only in Belgium for 2 days. So then I leave on Monday. I board my flight in Brussels and I come back to Chicago. As we're getting to Chicago after a 9-hour flight, there are storms in Chicago. No flights can land, no flights are taking off. So we're circling the Chicago airport for like an hour before they tell us that we are going to go land at the RFD airport nearby and wait for the storm to pass and wait for us to be able to go to Chicago. So we go land at RFD. We're all sitting on this plane. We wait, like at this point, it's an additional 2 hours. They refuel. The storms calm down, I guess, and we go to Chicago. But of course, as you can imagine, my connecting flight to go back to Houston had already passed, and all of the flights from Chicago to Houston were delayed, canceled. So I get to the Chicago airport at like 2 p.m. on Monday, and my flight options are just continuing to dwindle down as the flights are delayed and canceled. So I end up sitting in the O'Hare Airport in Chicago from like 2 p.m. all the way to midnight, like 12:30 in the morning. And it's the last flight that's about to take off for the day to go from Chicago to Houston. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm just going to be happy that I'm going home today. At least I'm getting home. I was going to get home at like 2:30 in the morning when I was originally supposed to get home at 5 p.m. But whatever, at least I'm going home. I get on this flight. It's 12:30 in the morning. We're sitting on the flight. I'm in such good spirits because I'm so happy I'm going home. They get on the announcement, sorry you guys, the crew has timed out after 12 hours. This flight is canceled. Actually, they said the crew has timed out. We're waiting for a new crew to come in. So cool, I'm still on the plane. We wait an additional like 30 minutes. We get a new crew, and then they said, sorry, we have to take off within 3 minutes legally, so we can't make that. So now the flight is canceled. So I've just sat on the plane till 1 a.m. in Chicago for nothing, for us all to have to get off the plane and deboard. It's 1 a.m. As they're making this announcement, I hear the people talking nearby, and they're like, oh my gosh, there's no flights tomorrow from Chicago to Houston on any airlines. And so I pull out my app and I book the last Southwest flight available to go from Chicago to Houston, and it left at 6 p.m. But all of the United flights, they were all booked for Tuesday. The only options were to leave on Wednesday, and the prices for Wednesday flights from Chicago to Houston from United, they were so increased and whatnot. The flight costs were like $1,200 if you wanted to go home on Wednesday when we were supposed to be home on Monday. I ended up buying 3 additional flights because I was like, I hope I can get home on Tuesday, but after these travel nightmare situations, if I have to go home on Wednesday, I want to at least have a flight booked. So I ended up buying all of these additional flights. Anyways, I'm crying practically getting off the plane in Chicago at 1 a.m. Mind you, because of the storms, because so many of the flights were canceled in Chicago on Monday, all of the hotels nearby were booked. You cannot find a hotel. I called over 17 hotels. No one had availability. There's a ton of people sleeping in the airport in Chicago. And at this point, I had been traveling for over 24 hours. I had been in the Chicago airport for like 12 hours, and I was on the verge of a mental breakdown. I found one hotel in downtown Chicago, the Hoxton, that had one room available for $750. But I did not feel safe in the Chicago airport sleeping there, and I had also already been there for 12 hours, and my flight wasn't going to be taking off until 6 p.m. the following day. So I bit the bullet, and I just paid the $750 to go sleep at a hotel at 2:30 in the morning, and I had to check out at noon the next day. United is saying that because it was a weather issue, that they're not going to be responsible for reimbursing anyone for hotels or accommodations. They also have told me that they think my luggage might have been stolen by an employee because of the deletion of the bag tag 6 minutes later, and that they essentially have no idea where my bag is. And this process to file a claim for reimbursement can take up to 4 weeks or more. So, little to say, I will never be flying United again. Southwest saved the day. I finally got home Tuesday around midnight when I was supposed to be home Monday at 5 p.m. And yeah, I've got nothing good to say about United. I haven't even been able to get anyone on the line for their customer service. I've requested a call back. No one has called me back. So now I'm stuck filling out a PDF and emailing them all of the items in my suitcase. And I have very little hope that they're going to reconcile this in any way. But yeah,
if you learn a lesson from me, it's even if you have a carry-on, still put an AirTag in it. And if they force you to take your carry-on off the plane, make sure that you get the bag tag number right then and there, I guess. But yeah, this is going to be a part 1 of I don't know how many parts, but I feel like I'm ready to talk about my ex-fiance because it's been like 5 to 6 years and he really fucked me up. And I don't even want to like give him credit to have this impact on my life. It was a lesson I had to go through, I guess, and learn from. Let's talk about just one of the many situations that he put me through. So when we first started dating, loved bombed the shit out of me. Like, we had so many things in common, so I thought, because in hindsight, now I know that's what narcissists do. They know what you're into, so they pretend to be into that. I don't even know, maybe a month or so into the relationship, this girl from the gym that we went to was telling me how he was Snapchatting this girl, other girl that worked there at the gym. And we spent so much time together. Like, we moved in together like a month into dating. So we were like always together. I was like, how does he even have time to like talk to somebody else or hang out with somebody else? He hasn't given me a reason not to trust him or believe in him. So I was like, maybe she has the wrong guy. Like, I kind of just pushed that out of my thoughts. Other like weird instances like that occurred like throughout our relationship, which was like 3 or 4 years, way too long. 3 or 4 years too long to be in a relationship with this child. How I found out that it was in fact correct, this man was cheating on me the entire time we were together. One night, I just had this weird feeling. Like, I was like, something is up, and I just like felt so anxious like all of a sudden. And I looked over at him and he fell asleep with his phone like on his chest face down. And something in me like went to go like look for his phone. I've never gone through his phone before. I never like looked through anything. And I pick up the phone and I see that it was unlocked somehow by the grace of God, because God was like, you need to know the real facts here. So I see that it's open and I see he has Tinder. And so I open up Tinder, hundreds of messages of just him saying, hey, what are you doing? Hey, what are you doing? Hey, what are you doing? Literally hundreds of messages all the way till before we met. I was like, this motherfucker. And so I'm like, I literally like audibly gasped because I'm like, what the fuck? And he like immediately sprung up like out of his sleep. Again, true narcissist fashion, blamed me for going through his phone because how could I not trust him? I'm like, this is fucking insane. Like, you are literally talking to many, many girls. Like, what? Like, he tried to tell me, get this. He tried to tell me that his ex-girlfriend, because the Tinder profile wasn't his name, it was like Vinny or something like that, tried to tell me that his ex-girlfriend created a Tinder account with his pictures, and he has a detective friend who told him to download Tinder. How did he know the username and password? Download Tinder so that he could make sure that there was no incriminating information about him on his account. I go, bro, you really can't think that I believe that. Like, you are out of your fucking mind. I said, that is bullshit. I don't believe that for 1 second. Obviously, this was at the end of the relationship. We had a trip to Miami planned for the week after that I paid for because I ended up having to pay for everything. And so I was like, I'm not gonna cancel the trip and have him go on my dime. So I'm gonna go and make this just like a trip for me. So this was at like the end of March, because I remember the vacation was at like the end of March. Another story that we'll get into is that he put me in a lot of debt and told me he was gonna pay it off, and obviously he didn't. So I was like kind of waiting it out to like, are you gonna give me money? When I break up with him, I knew he wasn't gonna give me any money. Never gave me money. So I remember it was like the day after Mother's Day is when I ended up breaking up with him, which again, we'll get into that another time. Months go by. I think it was like July, because he kept saying like, oh no, like this is true, like we're gonna try to get his ex-girlfriend in trouble for the Tinder account, like kept that story going. And I was like, dude, like you really think that I believe you? Finally, months later, he was like, yeah, so it wasn't real, like it was my Tinder profile. Obviously, like, what? Dude needs serious help. Serious help. So yeah, how I turned out so amazing. It's delusion. So you may be wondering why I'm just now sharing about my ex-fiance when it happened so many years ago. And it's because I'm realizing how much it still affects me. Even though I feel so far removed from the situation, like it honestly feels like somebody else's life. Like it doesn't even feel like my life at this point, because I have just healed and moved on so far from this. I think that's why I feel more comfortable talking about it now, because I'm not like in it. And I've done a lot of healing. It was kind of like the relationship that prompted all of my growth that I've been going through for the past like 5 years. And even though I kind of almost make light of this situation just because that's like my protective mechanism, because it was really, really hard to get past this betrayal and to be able to trust not only other people but my own judgment of people. And it's been a work in progress, because I didn't realize how much this has like subconsciously affected me. And I've been doing a lot of like energy clearing work and Reiki, and realizing like how stuck those emotions were inside of me and how that was showing up in present relationships. And another reason is I hope to inspire someone who may be going through a similar situation as this, because it was really, really hard to break away from that. But it is honestly one of the things I am most proud of in my life, because it has allowed me to really live, honestly. I felt so stuck in that relationship, and I think it was a combination of living with him, having that debt with him, having like a trauma bond to him, and also because at that time I didn't really have a strong foundation of myself, and he made me believe that our relationship issues were my fault. As he was making those accusations, I was like, is this really me? Like, and I started journaling a ton, and I started really diving deep into who I am as a person and how I respond to things. That's why even though this was like one of the most difficult things I've been through, I truly believe I had to go through that in order to grow, in order to start becoming the person that I meant to be. If you are in a similar situation, I hope that you can find the strength and courage to do what you know you need to do for yourself. And you know deep down inside, if you do need to leave a situation, it's not going to be easy, I'll tell you that, but it's going to be so worth it. If you have to ask yourself if you're in a toxic or unhealthy relationship, that's your answer. Because I remember I used to Google all the time, like, how to know if you're in a toxic relationship, and like, what are some like examples. And just the fact that I had to Google that shows where I was at. And I know it sucks, dude. Change is scary. Change is hard. leaving behind something you've known for however long it's been. It doesn't even matter how long it's been. It's always hard making that change and making that decision, not knowing what's on the other side. But if it is negatively affecting you in any way, you don't deserve that in your life. So I encourage you to talk to somebody who you trust and feel safe with, or a trained professional.
Get ready with me while I tell you all about how we got pulled over yesterday on our way to Michigan. I never have story times, and something finally happened, so I get to tell you all about it. So ignore the lighting. I'm not at home, so I don't have everything that I would normally have to film, so videos are going to be a little wonky. But we're in Michigan, okay? We came to Michigan to see my girlfriend's family. This is something we do every year. It's a trip we make every year. Power Grip Primer. Okay. But anyways, like I was saying, this is a trip that we make every single year. And I've only been with my girlfriend like 2 years, so this is the second time that I've made this trip with her. But I sleep most of the drive, okay? So I was asleep for most of the drive. We left from Georgia, and then I wake up in around Kentucky, Indiana kind of area. So I wake up in Kentucky, okay? We drive further into, you know, Indiana. We're in Indianapolis at this point. And we decide, hey, the car needs gas. We gotta pee. I kind of need a drink. So we're gonna find a gas station, right? So we go to get off the highway, and we're going down this road that was apparently construction. We didn't know it was construction. Halo Glow Foundation. Anyways, it's construction. We didn't know it was construction, and my wife, I don't think, seen the cop sitting there. So, I mean, she just kind of kept it going. It's not like she was going super fast either. It was 60. Like, the speed limit in that zone was 60, and she was going, I think, like 70, 71, something like that. So, like, barely 10 over. Which, yeah, you know, you can get pulled for that. Rightfully so. But listen to this next part. He pulls us over, okay? He walks up to the window, and he's like, hey, I pulled y'all for speeding. You know, that was a construction zone. Did you not see it? Da-da-da-da-da. She was like, oh my goodness, I didn't know. How fast was I going? He said you were going about 70. And we were like, oh, okay, you know, we didn't know, whatever. And he's like, do you have anything illegal in the car? We're like, no. And he's like, okay, well, I'll be right back. And then he asked for her license and everything like that. He's like, okay, well, I'll be right back. You know, I assume he's just running her license and looking at everything. And then another cop car pulls up. We're like, hold the hell on. Another cop car pulls up. And then we're sitting there for another minute. And about maybe 2 or 3 minutes go by. And another cop car pulls up. So there's 3 cop cars behind us at this point. And apparently we were just stopped for speeding. So I'm confused, and then him asking us if we had anything illegal in the car really threw me off. Because if you don't know me in real life, I be gardening, okay? Real bad. Okay, so I'm shaking in my boots because obviously I live in Georgia. It is not legal in Georgia. And I wasn't sure if it was legal in Indiana either. So I was just a little like shaking in my boots. And obviously I told him we didn't have anything illegal in the car. I'm not going to tell him myself. You know, like I said, those 3 cop cars were sitting behind us. I'm shaking in my boots, okay? K9 unit comes out. We're like, Ace Born This Way concealer. Shade Sugar, I believe. Yep. So K9 unit comes out. And mind you, they didn't say nothing to us about no K9 unit, okay? They didn't. Literally nothing. They just walked up to the car and they were like, hey, can you roll up your windows? We were like, sure. So we roll up the windows and then we see the K9 unit. There is like maybe 3 or 4 G's in the car. So I'm literally shaking in my boots. I'm like, okay, this dog's gonna bark. We're going to jail. Like, we're fucked, you know? He walked around the whole car and didn't bark not once. I was like, I said, thank you, Jesus. These K9 units even came out. These cops asked us like 4 or 5 times where we were going and where we were coming from. And when we told them we were going to Michigan, he asked which part. And we told him, I think it was Allendale or something like that, because that's where her mama's at. And he was like, are you sure you're not going here? And it was some like hole in the wall little like town in Michigan. And mind you, I told this man, I'm from Georgia, okay? I don't know. He's asking me the questions. I'm like, ask her. I don't know, okay? She's from here, not me. He was like, are you going to Rothbury? He asked if we were going to Rothbury, and I was like, where is that at? Like, I don't know where that's at. And my wife was like, I don't know where that's at either. And he was like, oh, okay, well, just making sure. And he asked us that question like twice. He asked us about Rothbury like twice. Sat there, he was talking to us about our tattoos and everything. It was very, very confusing because why are you sitting here being friends with me but also interrogating me about where I'm going when I told you where I was going? Bronzer. So like I said, he asked us about it twice and then was sitting there talking to us. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then he ends up walking away again, and he walks and he's like talking to the cops that are over there, whatever. And mind you, this is after the K9 walked around the car. So he goes over there, he's talking to him for a second, and then comes back over to the car and asks us if he can search the car. Real quick, this is what I use for my eyebrows. It's the e.l.f. Brow Laminating Gel. So he asked us if he can search the car. And when he asked us, he told us, he was like, you are in full rights to say no. Like, you don't have to let us search your car. You're not going to get in trouble or anything like that. And because I'm not a dumbass and there is ganja in my car, I'm like, no. And we just so happened to pull over right next to the gas station that we were trying to get to. So I'm looking at this gas station knowing I have to piss, knowing if I stand up and get out of this car so we can search it, I will piss myself. So no, for multiple reasons, you cannot search this vehicle, sir. I need to use the restroom, please and thank you. At this point, we've been on the road 4 or 5 hours, okay? The car needs gas, we need to pee, I'm hungry, all the things. I'm using for blush, CoverGirl Skin Enhancer, True Blend Skin Enhancer. It's the shade Nude Flush. Rub this in with my finger because it just works the best. Okay, so we tell him no, okay? We were like, no, like, we've got all this stuff in the car and we're gonna have to repack it all and you're gonna have to go through it all and we really gotta piss and the car's almost out of gas as it is, like, no. Mention the 4 or 5 G's I got in my backseat. I'm good. I use for bronzer, contour, whatever you want to call it. It's the powder one. It's the Physicians Formula Bronze Booster. No. He's like, okay, you know, no biggie, whatever. Walks back over to the cop. One of the other cops that's over there. And he stays over there for a good little second. And I'm just kind of like, you know, sitting there, shaking like a leaf. And mind you, during all of this, I'm in the middle of doing my mascara. Okay, these cops are talking to me and I'm looking in the mirror doing my mascara in the passenger seat of my wife's car. My mascara, putting my lip gloss on, all while this was going on. He goes over and talks to the other cop, and then he comes back, and he's just talking to us again. I'm like, the helly? So, sitting there talking, whatever, like shooting the shit, talking about our tattoos and things like that. Our officer had walked on the other side of the car, walked to my girlfriend's side of the car, because he kept coming to my side. So, the other officer walked to my girlfriend's side of the car, and gave her a warning. For sure that he was going to write her a ticket, that we were going to have to go to court or something like that. Nope, he wrote her a freaking warning and told her to slow down. Powder blush, I used the NYX Buttermelt blush or whatever, I don't know. Anyways, so he writes us off with a warning, right? And then, you know, we go on about our business. We're like, okay, so we pull up to the gas station that we were literally not even 10 feet from. So pull into the gas station, and when we pull in, we sit there and we look at the warning that he gave us, looking at like all the information and stuff like that. And it turns out he didn't even have his radar on to be checking to see if she was speeding. The warning paper where it states where he should have clocked her, where the speed would have been at, the letters that were under there were in A. It means that he didn't even have his little gun on to be checking how fast she was going to see, you know, her speed. Pulled her for visual speeding. He thought he visually seen her speeding. For context, my girlfriend drives a 2023 Dodge Challenger. Okay, of course you thought she was speeding, asshole. Highlighter, this is a very, very old, crusty Milani palette that I used in high school, but she still gets love, so. They let us off with a warning, right? And like I said, we pulled into the gas station. And when we pulled into the gas station, like I said, we sat there and we looked at the paper, okay? When we got done looking at the paper, we went to get out of the car, obviously, to go use the bathroom and get gas and things like that. We look over, and one of the cops that pulled us over followed us into the freaking parking lot of the gas station and was sitting there watching us. He sat there the whole time too. He did not move, okay? Like, he stayed there until we pulled off. I'm realizing I got this far into my makeup and completely forgot to do my loose powder. It's fine, I'm still gonna do it because I'll be damned if I look greasy. I used the Airspun loose powder from Walmart and I just put it under my eyes and like under here and on my chin. Just anywhere where I get greasy or shiny where I don't wanna be. You know? After I'm done, I literally just wipe it all off. I let it set for like a few seconds and then just wipe her all off. And for eyeshadow, I just take a little bit more of this and you see the difference, it makes a difference. Setting spray, and then I'll do my lashes. The mascara I use, it's got lash serum in it because it's the same brand as my lash serum. I love her, she's amazing. Mascara is done, and I'm gonna line my lips with Nude Beige in NYX. I mean, that's pretty much it, and that's all. If you're from Indiana or you live in Indiana, let me know if that's normal or cops are just always like that. I swear that man thought that we were pulling drugs through the country. Like, no, sir, I'm just trying to go see my wife's family. That's it, that's all. Makeup is done. I will see y'all later. Mwah.
Let's do a story time while I eat some lunch. Only 2 people asked for the story time, so this is for you, Miley and Sadie, because I will just want to give this story time. So let's rewind about 2 months ago. I decided I wanted to move back home in with my parents because I just missed them. So my mom was like, you gotta find a job first. So I was like, okay, done. Go on Facebook. Hey y'all, I'm Hallie, I'm 20, I'm awesome, amazing. I'm looking for a nanny job. Message me if you want me to nanny your kids. I'm amazing. And then this girl messages me and says, hey, like, I have 2 kids. We're looking for a full-time nanny, Monday through Friday, basically 9 to 5. We pay X amount of money. We pay good money. Do you want to be my nanny? And I was like, yes. So basically we go through an interview process. We talk on the phone. She seems amazing. She seems like her kids are amazing. She's like, we're so chill and laid back. It's going to be so fun, wonderful, amazing, whatever. And then I go and meet her and her kids and their current nanny Their current nanny had been with them for 4 years, but she was moving, so I was gonna replace her. So then about a week later, I went on vacation, and then when I came back, I went twice to just kind of shadow the nanny, see their routine, whatever. And then the next week, so 2.5 weeks ago, I started. And the first week was just like a little rocky, just kind of figuring out all their routines and everything. But it was going great. Like, the mom was great, the kids were great, we were getting along. Me and the mom went and got coffee to get to know each other better, and it was great. And then the second week, a week from hell. That's a little dramatic, but like, it sucked. So the little girl, there's a boy and a girl, the boy's 4, the girl's 2. The little girl got sick, and she had a fever, she was upset stomach, all that. I was changing lots of diapers, which is fine, it's my job. But she was sick, and so obviously she wanted her mom. Her mom works from home. Red flag. So every 5 seconds, the little girl would be crying and be like, I want mom, I want mom, I want mom. And then mom would come in and tell me I need to try harder. And I'm like, lady, she's sick. Obviously she wants her mom. I'm 20 years old, and when I'm sick, I want my mom. And so the mom would get like frustrated at me for the baby crying when she's sick. And then I got sick from her. So towards the end of last week, I got sick. On Thursday, she let me go home early because I had a fever. I did not feel good. And then Friday, I was like, I'm fine to work again. I'm just really tired, so like, give me grace. And all week, she was just making comments about like how I need to do better and crap. Also, the most important part I forgot to mention, she's a big time gentle parent. And if you know me, I wasn't raised that way. I'm very tough love, and if you fall and get hurt, get your butt up, you're fine. So she told me I wasn't allowed to tell the kids they're okay. I had to acknowledge their pain, even if they're like literally fine. And so I was like, okay, that's stupid, but whatever. And then as the week went on, it was just like more things where she was like, oh, don't say that. We don't say that to our kids. And then she started sending me Instagram reels on parenting. And I'm like, lady, I'm not a mom. I'm their nanny. I'm here to keep them safe and make sure they're fed. And so I was like, okay, that's a bit much, but like, I'm getting paid really good, so it's fine. And then Friday rolls around, and during the kids' nap time, she pulled me into her office. She was like, hey, I just printed out a couple things that I want you to go over the weekend to kind of like, just on how to handle situations. I was like, okay, cool, whatever, a little weird, but okay. Guys, this is 20 pages of stuff she wanted me to read. It says, building trust with the kids' names. A practical handbook for stepping confidently into a family after a beloved long-term nanny. And then there's 2 handbooks. The next one is a practical guide to confident emotional caregiving. So I'm reading through these like, okay, this is a little psycho, but like, whatever. I guess like she just has weird ways of parenting. And then there's literally a part where it says, I'm not gonna go through all the freaking 20 pages, kind of gives me trauma looking at these, but there's a part that literally has scripts for me to memorize to tell the kids in certain situations. Like, for example, if the kids do something, instead of saying good job, she doesn't want me saying good job to them because she wants to focus on their effort, not that they accomplished something. Like, what? And if the kid like bonks his head or something, saying you're okay is apparently gaslighting the kid. I was like, no, the frick, it's not. Another example, the little boy bit the little girl on her foot because he was frustrated about something. And the mom saw it happen because we were like right in front of her office. And so she came out and she was like, baby, why did you do that? And then she was like, whenever we want to express our emotions, let's find a better way to express frustration. And I was like, if I was in that situation, I would have been like, hey, little girl, you bite him back because to show him how it feels so that he knows he doesn't want to freaking do that again. Like, what? I could go on and on about a million different stories of crazy things that happen. But the oldest was just a little brat to his sister, and it was so sad because the little girl was precious and adorable. And the oldest would just cry about literally everything. It was very clear that they had never been told no in their life. He literally did not know how to share with his sister, and it made me want to scream because just like share. It's really not that hard. And anytime the little boy wouldn't want to share something and the mom would hear, she would be like, baby, I know it's so hard to share. It's okay. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's rude. And he's literally a brat to her. So also the mom literally told me that her son is a D-head. She called him a D-head in front of his face. And then she told me that he's an effing a-hole. So cussing about your children doesn't seem like that's good gentle parenting. But yeah, moral of the story, I think gentle parenting is stupid. And if you have to give your nanny 20 pages of things to study, just quit your job and be a full-time mom or a stay-at-home mom, whatever, because good luck finding a nanny who's gonna want to study. Like, what? So yeah, there's my story time. Sorry it was so long. I could literally talk for 20 more minutes about that weird experience. Hi guys, get ready with me for work. Actually, let me go brush my teeth first. Guys, I got my new curling iron. I keep forgetting that, like, you turn on. I didn't get the 9 different levels. Right now I have it on 4 because I'm not trying to burn my hair off. I didn't get the biggest barrel like I originally was going to, because when I watched Alabama Barker like curl her hair with it, it's more like a blowout look, and I still want to have like curls. Like I could use this for like a blowout and stuff, but if I want like normal curls too, like this is just better. Okay, I haven't brushed my hair yet today. So I'm just heating mine up to 4. And if it's not hot enough, then I guess I can like go up. Oh my gosh, guys, I just need to rant really quick. Yesterday, I was at this like pool party type of thing, and I was only dipping like my toes in the pool, whatever, because I just got my hair done. Sorry, I'm not getting my brand new hair in the pool. I was talking to one of my guy friends, and he picks me up, and I have never in my life hit someone so hard, and I was like, no, like, not, my hair can't go in the water. He did not care. I never hit someone so hard in my life, like, sorry, not sorry. I warned him several times, like, do not put me in the water. I just got my hair done. Also, I'm only gonna recurl like a couple pieces. But anyways, okay, I seriously never hit someone so hard in my life, and he put me right back down. And I was like, yeah, I just paid however much money for my hair. And it's not going in the water. It is not going in the water. Okay, I like recurled it. Oh, and guys, I'm breaking out way too damn bad for this, whatever. It starts at like 2 or something. I have work at 1. If it's still going, I will be participating in that. I haven't been going to anything recently, just because like I have not wanted to, and then I just realized that everyone's leaving in less than 2 weeks. So with everyone, because this is definitely going to be the last time everyone's together, I might as well go because my makeup and hair is going to be done. So it's not like I'm going to have to get ready. Okay, I'm going to play music because I feel like it. Not that loud. Not that song either. Ha! Low-key gonna spray my face a couple times because I need my makeup to last all day and all night. If I'm gonna go to this like party after work. I can't find my like fan. My dad got me that. I found it. Sorry, I sing sometimes like mid. I don't even know why I do this. It was so damn hot outside yesterday that everyone was in my friend's room or like in the house until nighttime, like 100-something degrees outside. I was like, duh, no one's gonna want to sit outside if we're not in the pool. I might have to recurl some of my hair just because the back's looking a bit interesting. For the party later, I want to go, but it's none of my like close friends. Like I have friends there. Sometimes I feel awkward because like they're all super close and then I'm just like friends with them. I don't know, sometimes it's just like you know what I mean? But I'm gonna go even if none of my like super close friends go, just because I need to be out and about. Just some Benetton. Okay, let me just move my hair because I don't trust myself with this sometimes.
Oh my gosh, yesterday someone's finger was bleeding and they like got my swimsuit so it's stained in the middle now. Thank God I saw it. It got in my hair. I would have killed them if it stained my hair red. Lip liner. I'm gonna try to put some of this on even though it's too dark sometimes. Too much, too much. I don't like how sticky it is. I don't know if this is for me. It's too pink. It's too pink. It's too pink. It's too pink. Help, it's too pink. I need to re-dye my lashes soon just so like cosmetology school I don't have to wear mascara. I miss this concert so much. Now time to spray. Oh my gosh, I never sprayed this much. Guys. Okay, well, I'm ready. Now I just have to get dressed. And yeah. Like, get ready with me. I thought this was just on TikTok.
Hey y'all, so I've not made a get ready with me TikTok in a hot minute. So I'm just gonna do a little life update. This past month and a half has been so chaotic. I guess first and biggest update is I no longer have a boyfriend. My chains have been set free. That's honestly why I stopped doing TikTok in the first place. So apparently I was like extremely embarrassing to post TikToks online and I was not ever gonna go viral. So here I am, guys, blow me up. I'm gonna go viral again. Anyways, let's move on from that topic. So I have 3 jobs, but I'm making the bank. I'm cheering in college next year. So I like never fully announced it like on TikTok, but I did announce it on my Instagram. So if you guys saw it on there, then you know about it. But I'm so excited. I start in August and we have Hell Week and I've heard that it's terrible. I've been working out. I've been getting myself ready for Hell Week. I'm not sure what's gonna happen. I'm trying to prepare myself for it. Right now, I'm currently in Ohio because my entire family lives in Ohio. I don't know if anybody knew that. I'm here to visit, and then my brother also has a doctor's appointment because he has been really sick. While we had been traveling after his doctor's appointment, he had 2 blowouts from Ohio State in Columbus all the way to where my family lives. And yesterday we went shopping and I'm not even kidding you, it was like a 15-minute drive. He had another blowout. So he has had 3 blowouts, so that's been amazing. Love having to clean that up. Okay, I look like a pasty ghost. So while my brother was having blowouts yesterday, we got trapped in a tornado. We're driving through a tornado, and I don't know if y'all saw my TikTok or not, but I documented it. It was one of the scariest moments of my life. I genuinely did think that I was going to die. But now we're staying with my Nepo baby cousin. Pay scale, the difference is insane. Also, coming up here is like the saddest thing ever. It makes me realize how much I miss my family and how like left out we are because we have no family down in North Carolina. All my family came down about a month ago and they stayed for a week, and when they left, I was not even kidding y'all, I was in the biggest funk for over a week. I cried all the time. I was so sad because they left. Preparing myself to be in this funk again when we leave. To be honest, I genuinely could see myself moving up here one day. Definitely living in the Columbus area. I want to live in the city. Oh, another thing is North Carolina rich versus Ohio rich is so different. Like, especially with the houses, because the houses up here are insane, genuinely. Honestly, I've been living my best life recently, been focusing on myself, and I honestly didn't realize like how much I was missing out on until like I realized. What content are y'all wanting to see? Because I promise like I'm actually gonna start posting consistently now that I don't have somebody in my ear telling me that I'm embarrassing and that people are making fun of me, because that's also not true. I can pretty much make any content that y'all want though. Also, I went to stay with my other cousin. I didn't really stay with her, but I hung out with her. And she gave us a bunch of designer bags.
And so let me show you the bag that I got. Sister wanted me to point out that she's married and has a kid, but this is the bag. I feel like this is very Southern charm. It's like extremely spacious inside. I can literally fit everything. Also my pap bought me a taser for college. Like, look at that. Come try to come after me. I promise you're gonna get tased. Comment if you want me to tase my sister, and I will. I'll get it on video. Pay me $20. My Venmo is Reagan-Holland-7, and I will post a video of me tasing her. Grace, say hi. I told her that I'd give her half the profits.
No, because
actually somebody sent me 50 and I'll tase her. Anyways, back to the purse. Y'all saw it.
Oh my
yes, I am that broke.
She has a lot of...
Also, another thing that I have noticed since I've been up in Ohio is the fashion difference is weird. So she lives up in Ohio, and this is like weird to wear up here.
Yeah, like I would get made fun of.
Yeah, she would get made fun of. So we have had to show her the style, but it's kind of like the northern people coming down to SEC, if like you've seen those type of TikToks. Like there's no color up here. Like I'm not kidding you, everybody wears black.
Or gray.
And I'm like, and they wear like jeans. Like there's no like athletic wear. There's no bright colors. Yeah. I felt so out of touch going to the Ohio State campus. I don't know if out of touch is the right word. Out of place. That campus is beyond me. You cannot tell what is the campus and what's not the campus. Like it's a genuine city in itself. Like it's, I don't know how to explain it. Need somebody to teach me how to make money on TikTok because I'm actually so confused. Because I can do it, I just don't know how to. Another thing that I'm so excited for, and I've been praying about it, and I hope that I get it, is I applied to be an Alani ambassador for college, but the only thing is I don't know if they have any Alani ambassadors at the college that I'm going to because it's not a big state school. It's like a private college. So I don't know if they'll take me. I feel like I post the right content and have like a good foundation of followers, but I don't know. I also don't know when I'll hear back. Okay, so I just put some of this on. Another random thing. I want a side quest. I want a new hobby to do. What should I do? Crap. Guys, this lip liner is so good. It's Huda Beauty Deep Rose. And this is like a Spicules lip gloss, and it does major plump. I'll have to show. Don't get it on your tongue because it burns. Okay, so here's the final makeup. Please follow me because I will be posting consistently. I pinky promise. Yeah, so stay tuned for the next chapter of my life.
Curl my hair with me and get ready for registration while I tell you guys about the time I went missing. Also, before I start, I got some questions on this curling iron. It's the Beach Waver V1. Okay, so I was young when this happened. Like, I was in, like, elementary school. Like, I wasn't even, I think I might have been, like, 10. Well, there was this girl in my neighborhood who came over, and she had come over, like, the first time. And I like wanted to be cool, so I saw if I could go in the woods. We went in the woods together and we like caught salamanders by like the creek, because there's a creek not far from my house, and we watched like all these deer and stuff. So I thought I was like Billy or something. Well, anyways, there was a girl who also lived in my neighborhood who I was really good friends with too throughout elementary school, who I used to hang out with like every day. Well, anyways, so she comes over one time and we're really bored. And so what did I decide to do? Go in the woods. Well, anyways, we go in the woods and like just hanging around the creek was not enough for us, I guess. We had to go for a little adventure. So me and my friend decide that we're gonna see like how far the creek goes and just follow it until it runs out. Terrible idea, by the way, but so me and her walk for a little while, and I remember we found like a log and we had to cross over the log,
and we've been walking for like a hot minute. And then we kind of like look and we're like, okay, we've been out here for like 2 hours. I think we can turn around now. Well, anyways, when we go to like turn around and go home, we followed the creek to get there. So like we decided, we're like, oh yeah, we're gonna follow the creek to get back. Well, unfortunately for our sorry asses, the creek is not a straight creek. It branches out. And because we were together and we were just giggle shits and not paying attention, we didn't know where we were going. So I forgot to mention, like when we were walking, we came across these kids that go to our school who were like using Doritos to catch like minnows and crawfish. So we keep walking around. Ooh, that was not cute. So we keep walking, just trying to get home. And we've been outside for, couldn't even tell you. It was daylight when we were out there, like broad daylight. And it's dark now. And we in the woods. Like 2 4th graders in the woods, alone, at night. No telling where we are. And I remember we walked by like a hunting camera. And we thought it was evil and gonna kill us. And so we were like terrified of it. For no reason. It is a camera. I couldn't even tell you who we were feeling like, if you want me to be completely honest with you. Couldn't even tell you. Not a thought behind those eyes. Well, anyways, so we eventually are like, okay, we cannot be in these woods anymore. We need to escape the woods and we need to get out on like the main road. And so our little 5th grade, 4th grade plan is that we are going to run through somebody's backyard and book it because we thought we were trespassing. As if they called the police, I think that would have been a good thing. So then someone would have known where we were and we could have gone home. But we decided that we were going to run through someone's backyard and wander the streets. I'm gonna read you that one. So we like come up on a neighborhood, and because we were in the deep woods, I don't know how we found a neighborhood, but we find a neighborhood and then we run up through this woman's backyard and we are wandering the streets and we don't know what to do because we don't have a phone. I was wearing like a dress, like a little sundress. Couldn't even tell you, to be honest. I'm drenched because I'm pretty sure she pushed me in at one point. I'm soaked from head to toe. I'm muddy. We're both dirty as hell. We were a sight. We looked a hot mess. So happy to look a mess, by the way. Well, anyways, we decide that, you know what? We're tired of being on the streets. We're going to run to a random person's house, knock on the door. And by the way, we are not in my neighborhood. It turns out we were like really far from my neighborhood, like miles away from my neighborhood. And we decided to run up on someone's door, knock on it, and ask them if we can use their phone to call home, which might be the one like actual thought that had some substance to it that we made maybe that entire day. Well, anyways, so I think we knocked on a few houses because we had like a plan that if they weren't like an elderly couple or they looked even a little bit sketchy, we were gonna dip. We were out of there. No chances could be taken. Well, anyways, so we find this older woman's house, or we knock on the door and this like older woman answers, and so we go in. I'm a crying mess. I'm dirty. I look like I've like got freaking like attacked by Shrek or something. And then my friend is just happy as a clam. She's just happy to have some AC. I'm sobbing. I'm calling they let me call my mom. I'm like crying. They asked where we were from and we say like our neighborhood name. We were miles away. We walked into a gated community. And it was so like traumatizing. Well, anyways, we meet my mom somewhere, and I remember she was like crying, and we had people at the house, and like everyone was like running through the woods looking for us. They were about to call the police. I'm surprised they didn't call the police knowing my parents. But yeah, we got home safe. I remember I slept in my parents' room that night because I was so like traumatized from it. I thought that I was never gonna see my parents again. I thought I was getting eaten by a coyote, and that was it for Big Kramer. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that story because I know I did not enjoy experiencing it. Oh my god. But yeah, I love you guys. Bye. Have a wonderful day.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry, I look like a mess. It's only like 7 in the morning, but I just got my coffee. And I hate the fact that I'm even making this video, but I've had several people reach out to me regarding it, and I feel like it needs to be said, or talked about, because it's not a good situation at all. And I hate to involve my life in social media, but the person I'm talking about has chose to do that as well. As we all know, once I get to the point. Get to the point, Brooke. For those of you who know, I have an older sister, Maria, and I don't know what's going on with my sister right now, but she's not well. I don't know if she's going through what I went through 5-6 years ago. I think it may be worse. I don't know if it's psychosis. I have no idea, but my sister's clearly not in the right state of mind. She claims to be, which is even scarier. She's blasted her ex-boyfriend. She's blasted me. She's blasted my mom. She's blasted our family members. Just attack. And it's honestly just so scary. And I had to block her because she is claiming I'm manic when I'm at a really good place in my life. I'll be 3 years manic free in October. I went through my own shit and I owned up to that. I took accountability. I got better, and I'm just praying for her, and I pray she gets better, but I can only handle so much. So I had to block her because I get in my head and I'm like, oh my God, like, am I manic? But I'm not, and I know that. But she doesn't know what that's like. And I don't want to say what my sister is saying is false about what she's saying about what happened in her past relationships, but please don't believe everything my sister's putting out on the internet. My sister has always kind of craved some attention in some sort of way. As we all do, we're all only human. I'm not making this video to bash my sister in any way, shape, or form. She's my sister. I love her. But you're not going to go through your battles and your struggles and try to turn them on me and make me look like I'm the one who needs help. And I think it's very clear that she is the one who needs the help. She thinks our father's going there to help her get attorneys. I'm praying my dad is going there to put her in a psych ward or 302 her, because that's what needs to be that's what needs to happen. The whole social media, it's just gotten so bad to the point where people are reaching out to me, my friends, my family, like, and asking, oh my God, is Maria, like, people are generally concerned, but people are actually getting pissed off because the allegations she's saying about people are not okay. And I just pray that my sister gets the help she needs, because she needs some sort of help. She needs either 302'd, she needs God in her life, she needs something. And I'm coming on this video to just to say, like, thank you to those of you who have supported me and have been there. I know I have all the support, and I have great support. I wish my sister had that, but she's burnt her bridges with people, especially in my family. And it's honestly makes me so sad. I could cry, because we all want the best for my sister, but you're not gonna attack everyone in the family and be rude and have this cocky head on your shoulders like, I'm Maria Weber, I know I'm pretty, I know I'm this, I know I'm that. It all just doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't. I mean, maybe bipolar runs in the family. I mean, it's genetics. But it's honestly so scary. I think whatever she's going through is worse than what I went through, just from how she's acting. I mean, she lost her job, went to Italy. When I lost my job when I first became manic, I went to New York City. Like, the patterns are repeating itself, but I never acted this way. I never attacked the people I love. And I just wanted to come on here and say it's important to just, please don't believe everything that's coming out of her mouth. If you are a supporter of Maria Weber, of Mia Ray, whatever the hell she's, just please know my sister is a liar. And sorry, I just hate the fact that I'm even bringing this on the internet, because I don't want to, it's just so sad, but people are messaging me and saying she's disturbing my life. Yeah, but people are messaging me and are saying just how awful my sister's been to them, and I don't want to be associated with that. And I guess the fact that I'm bringing this on social media is because my sister always feels the need. Like, I remember even maybe even a year ago, I was at another really good place, and my sister went on her TikTok and made a video about me, claiming I was manic. So I feel the need maybe now to go on my social media and talk about it, because this is a really good outlet. But obviously something is off with my sister, and please don't associate me with her. Don't do it. I will love her from afar, but please know that she's pushed everyone, maybe except 2 people in my family, away from her. And I'm praying when my dad goes to see her, he gets her the help she needs, because it's clear this is not the Maria I know. This is not my sister. And this whole situation is just so heartbreaking, because I just want the best for my sister, but I can't, there's only so much I can handle. And just getting all the text messages, DMs, like, it's a lot to take in. And now I know what my sister went through when I was manic, and I can only apologize to her for that, because it is a lot to take in when you're constantly getting, like, messages after message. Like, it's a lot. Like, this whole situation has just been so much. And I had to block her because she was coming at me, attacking me, and I couldn't handle it anymore. Like, I simply, like, I'm at a really, 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 really good place in my life right now, and I pray I stay that way. And I'm okay. Like, I am on my meds. She claims I'm not on my meds. Got false information that I stopped taking my nighttime medicine. Totally false. The whole situation is just so sad and so heartbreaking, and I just pray, Lord, that you are there for my sister in this time of need. It is so scary, and I worry about my sister, because she claims she tried to take her life in January. That's something she posted. And I just pray it doesn't get to the point where she realizes how many bridges she's burned, that she wants to take her life, because my sister has claimed to be suicidal in the past. And that's honestly the last thing that I want. I want my sister to be healthy. I want her to be happy. I want her to be okay. But this has gotten so bad. Like, it's really, really, really freaking bad right now. And thank you to everyone. I know I already said this. I'm just kind of rambling now, and I don't know if I'm making any sense, but if it's not one Weber sister, it's the other. I wish the 2 of us could just be happy and stable at the same time. It's honestly so heartbreaking. I don't know if my sister's taking something. Like, I know what caused me to be manic is I was taking Adderall, and I was taking too much of it, and that was the cause of my manic episodes. I don't think my sister's on any Adderall. I don't know her medicine. I don't know her medications. I hope she's taking something, so that's the reasonings behind her actions, rather than just being sick in the head. I don't know. It's a lot to take in. It's a lot to handle. I pray for my sister, and I'm sorry to anyone who has been hurt by my sister. And I'm sorry for the lives my sister's disturbing. And pray for my family. Just pray for us, please, because this is really bad. It's really bad, you guys. And I'm just sorry. Like, I'm sorry that my sister's affecting other people so much. So, have a blessed day. Bye!
Okay, I'm not sure if my dogs are gonna leave me alone long enough to actually make this video, but I'm gonna try. So today I'm officially 3 days post-op from a very, very unexpected surgery that I had to undergo. And before we begin, I will just show you obviously where it is and what it looks like. Okay, now that we're past that, okay. I'm just gonna hold the tissue up because honestly it's easier for this eye to be in darkness for me to be able to use my other eye. I don't know how that makes sense, but it's just super sore and tender, so the less I use it, the better. So flashback to about a week ago on Wednesday evening, I noticed I started to have a little bit of blurry vision in my left eye, and I've never had vision problems before, so it was a little bit alarming to me, but it wasn't a ton. I thought maybe I was about to get a really bad headache or something of that nature. So I just went to bed, tried not to think about it, and I figured when I woke up, oh my gosh. Anyway, I figured it would be gone when I woke up. So I woke up Thursday, it wasn't gone, but it wasn't enough to impede any of my daily activities. So I just kind of went along throughout my day, but I did text my mom. I said, hey, I'm having some blurry vision in my left eye. A few weeks ago, she actually dealt with 2 tears in her retina. And so I knew she was kind of familiar with how that might feel or warning signs to look out for. And so she just told me to sleep on it, but if I didn't notice any change on Friday, I should definitely try to get in for an appointment. So Friday comes, no change. And like I said, like it's just enough to be annoying. It's not enough to be life-changing. Like I can just tell that something's wrong with my eye. But I wasn't sure, like, was I overreacting? Like I said, like I've never worn glasses or contacts or anything. I've never even been to an eye doctor. I have no idea. So I start to call a couple of eye doctors, seeing if I can get in for a same-day appointment. I'm trying to explain my symptoms to them, and they all kept saying, no, sorry, we're fully booked, but you should really get that checked out. That sounds serious. Oh, thanks. Okay. So my mom ended up being able to pull a couple of strings, and she got in contact with an ophthalmologist that she had used like a month previously for I think lens replacement, and she explained that she was a prior patient. She explained what was going on, and luckily they were able to get me in for a same-day appointment, which was awesome. So I drove home, and my mom ended up taking me to that appointment in case I had to get my eyes dilated or something like that, which I did. And so they brought me back and did some scans. They also checked my eyesight. They said I had 20/20 vision. It's like, great. But after a couple more scans, she left, and I could hear her and the doctor talking behind the door. I was like, oh, that's not good. And so she came in and was like, yeah, you have a torn and detached retina. And the detachment was dangerously close to my macula, which is your center line of vision. And from my understanding, that is where most of your vision goes through. So if the detachment goes through your macula, you essentially lose most, if not all, of your vision. And oftentimes it's irreparable. So it's pretty serious. And in this case, they booked me an emergency appointment at the retina specialist because there was nothing more that they could do there at their clinic. So got my eyes dilated, went over to the retina specialist. They ran some more scans. The doctor performed an eye exam, which I had never received before. Oh my gosh, it was so painful. He had like this little metal tool, and he was probing it in and around my eye, making my eye move in different directions. And finally, he was like, you're going to need surgery. And up until this point, I, for some reason, expected that I was only going to need a laser treatment. And so hearing the word surgery, I kind of started to panic just because it wasn't what I was expecting at all. And so at this point, he pulled my mom in and explained that I was going to need something called a scleral buckle procedure. I'd never heard of this before.
And from what he had explained, it was just a silicone band that literally gets wrapped around your eyeball. It essentially squeezes it, which helps your retina to stay in place. And before they squeeze it, there would be a laser treatment in which you laser the retina back onto the eye and then squeeze it with the band to hopefully make sure it never moves again, and this band stays on permanently. So I start to freak out. I remember my mom had asked, what is the recovery like for this type of procedure? And he had said, well, because she just let me give such a thorough exam of her eye, and I know that's uncomfortable, it seems like she has a really high pain tolerance, so I think she's going to handle this like a champ. So I kind of went into it thinking, okay, like it's not going to be a big deal. Maybe a couple of days recovery. So next morning, 6 a.m., check in, do all the pre-op things. I go under, I wake up, I have a patch on my eye, I'm super woozy. And I don't look at my eye until the next day because I have a patch on, so you can't see it. But I mean, I am essentially blind in this eye right now, which is to be expected. But what's not known is how much of my vision's actually going to come back. It's different for everyone, just depending on what your vision was like before the procedure, as well as how far along the detachment was. And so it's kind of just a waiting game. I am not allowed to drive for at least 2 weeks. I'm not allowed to do anything strenuous, honestly, for like the time being. I'm not really sure when that lifts, especially because I have a gas bubble in my eye, which is what this band is. I'm not allowed to take it off because if exposed to certain things, it can cause blindness, full blindness. But it's pretty weird because I can see a bubble right here in my vision, and it literally moves around like the way a bubble would. It's so weird. It's very off-putting. But yeah, honestly, I just wanted to do this little story time to bring awareness to how important your vision is and your eyesight, and how important it is that you get something checked out if you notice any sudden changes. For me, like my triggering factor was looking at window blinds, and the actual like slats of the blinds were doing this, and I knew that wasn't normal. And so that's what prompted me to go get checked out. And had I not gotten checked out until Monday or waited, I mean, who knows what my diagnosis, who knows what would have been the outcome. But yeah, it's a long road ahead. I have to wait at least 3 months until I can get my eyes checked for a prescription, because I will probably need it. The surgery makes most patients nearsighted. So it'll just kind of be a waiting game. And the doctor also noticed I have weak spots in this eye, so I will have to be seeing an ophthalmologist or maybe even a retina specialist very regularly to make sure that nothing's happening. And if something does happen, hopefully we can catch it early enough to just hit it with a laser and everything be okay. But yeah, that's my story time. Woo!
Okay, so here are some of the things that I've learned since gaining, like, more of a social media presence. Like, keep in mind, I'm absolutely nobody, but I've gotten more attention on social media, like, in the last couple months than I ever had before. And, like, sure, it's fun to get attention, but, yeah, it comes with some repercussions. So let me talk about the craziest hate I've ever gotten on the internet. So I think my posts, like, first started getting attention because I'm super candid about my history with my eating disorder and with anorexia. Like, I'm super candid about my experience and about, like, being somebody who goes to the gym after, like, getting out of treatment and recovery. So naturally I get comments body shaming me, calling me fat. The ones that really get to me are ones that tell me to relapse and to starve myself again. Those ones really bugged me because I'm just like, whoa. Like, I for some reason wasn't expecting those ones. Like, I was expecting the fat shaming and the body shaming. But, like, the ones that were, like, telling me, like, oh, go back to that way, that actually really fucked with me. I was like, I did not see that coming. Okay, fuck, my therapist will be hearing about this. Another one I've gotten, like, about my body is, this one's funny because I'll, like, do a video about, like, getting muscular, growing muscles, and everybody's like, you're not that muscular, you know? Or I've had a lot of men be like, compared to a man, you're, like, nothing. Like, you don't have any muscle at all. I have way more muscle than you could ever have. And I'm just like, okay, thanks, bro. Like, all right, I don't care. Like, I'm not trying to be more muscular than a man. I think that would be a little bit odd and peculiar. And if I do have more muscle than you as a man, then, like, go to the gym, dude. Like, yikes. Because I don't have that much muscle. So I've been body shamed both ends of the spectrum. I've been big, too little. Like, pick a struggle. I can't even speak. Pick a struggle. Fuck. Next is I've been made fun of a lot for my hair. I've had a lot of history with my hair. Basically, long story short is, like, having my hair has never been, like, super healthy because I'm naturally a brunette and I naturally have pretty curly hair. So, like, bleaching and putting heat on my hair obviously, like, does take a little bit of a toll on it, but, like, nothing crazy. Like, back in high school, again, my hair was bleached, my hair was straightened, and it was, like, down to my boobs. Like, it was super long, super thick, like, maybe a tiny bit dry and damaged, but, like, nothing crazy. So when I relapsed on my eating disorder and, like, was essentially starving to death, surprise, all your hair starts to fucking fall out. So my hair was, like, this long, and it, like, my hair is super thick naturally. Like, I'll take it out. Like, this is what we're working with. Like, I've got these funky curtain bangs, but, like, it is thick hair. And my whole entire head of hair fell out until I had, like, I want to say this much hair on my entire head. So all my hair was falling out. Like, it was this horrible, like, dead texture. Like, I wasn't even getting it done anymore. Like, I wasn't bleaching it. I wasn't straightening it. But it was just falling out. Like, every time I'd shower, every time I brush it, like, clumps falling out. Like, it was insane. So I when I got out of eating disorder treatment, like, I was super insecure because when you get weight restored, like, you look funky. Like, I'm just gonna say it. Like, you look odd. Like, your body fat distribution is really weird. You don't look like yourself. You feel super insecure. And on top of that, I didn't have, like, basically any fucking hair. Like, I was balding. Like, none of my hair was growing back yet. So in the months after getting out, like, obviously my hair started to grow back again, and it took such a long time to grow back to, like, its original length. And, like, right when I got out of treatment too, I gave myself a really big haircut. Like, I went to the salon because it was so broken off and so thin and so unhealthy. And mind you, I hadn't had it bleached or dyed in half a year, but it was falling out because of my health. To all the people who say, it's not your eating disorder, you just bleach your hair too much. Like, no, baby, it was falling out when I didn't do anything on my hair. Like, it was back to its natural color. Like, it was brunette. So I didn't put heat on it. Like, it was just falling the fuck out, bro. So I cut it really short, and then it's been growing back ever since. And, like, I have started bleaching it again. I have started, like, I'll blow dry it when I'm done with the shower. Obviously, I'll use, like, heat protection, whatever. But people will be like, oh my god, your hair is so fried, your hair is so damaged, your hair is, like, horrible, like, oh my god, like, like, people are so weird about my hair. Or they'll be like, do you miss having long hair? Like, do you ever plan about growing your hair out? Like, why would you ever get a haircut? And I'm like, first of all, guys, it's not like I have a fucking buzz cut, bro. Like, my hair is short, as in, it's like, it looks like a grown out fucking bob. Like, it's not that odd and obscure, I think, to have my hair. But according to TikTok Live people, my hair is an anomaly that needs to be commented on. People also call me chopped a lot. Like, whatever, I don't really care. I like the way I look. People, I'm trying to think. I don't know. People will body shame me in other ways, where it's like, they'll make fun of how small my chest is, where it's like, I'm not blind. Like, girl, I know. Like, do you want to pay for, like, the fucking $60,000 it takes to get a boob job? Because I don't. I like my chest. I don't care. I do not care. Like, genuinely. But I'm always made fun of for my A cups. But, like, I don't care. I mean, it sounds like I do care, but, like, obviously it's gonna hurt my feelings when someone insults me. But it's like, I don't really desire to have something that I just wasn't born with. Like, I'm trying to embrace at least some of my natural features. Like, if I can't embrace my natural hair color or my natural hair texture, like, I might as well embrace my natural body and my natural face. I'm trying to think. There's definitely other things that people said. People tell me that I'm annoying, that I talk too much, which, like, babe, it's a TikTok Live. What do you expect me to do? They expect me to do ASMR because I made, like, I do it on live sometimes, and it caught somebody's attention, and they recorded me, and then that post got like 1 million views, and everybody's like, oh my god, it's ASMR girl. So if I don't do ASMR, God forbid I just yap, God forbid I do something else, everybody in the comments are like, shut the fuck up, nobody wants to hear what you want to say, just tap on something. And I'm like, what is wrong with you people? Like, you have never been taught manners, dude. Like, what the fuck? Like, bro, it's crazy. Actually crazy. So that's always annoying when I'm just like when I'm told to shut up multiple times. I'm like, what the fuck, bro? Like, genuinely, what is y'all's problem? I've also been told I'm rude because I'm very candid, and if someone says something weird, I will call them out for it. And that might be rude, but I just think it's honest and putting up boundaries, because like, I'm not just gonna be insulted and take it. Like, I'm gonna get pissed, bro. Like, I'm also very easily rage baitable, so like, you can say anything and it's gonna rub me the wrong way, which is probably why I get rage baited so much. But it's like, whatever. Like, I have a pretty like, I don't know, I'm pretty hot-headed, so I'll definitely fall for the occasional rage bait, but like, I feel like I'm only human. And honestly, the pros outweigh the cons of having like a social media presence. Like, again, I barely have a social media presence, but like, I have more of one than I've ever had before, so this is just like my experience with it. But it's definitely odd. It's definitely weird to get this attention. People have asked me if I've been noticed in public, or I'm like, babe, I only have 25k followers. Like, I have not been noticed in public. That would be like, I'm no celebrity. And I'm like low-key terrified of being famous. I don't know. Like, that would be freaky. Like, maybe if I was like a niche micro celebrity. But like, I don't want to be famous. Like, fuck, that'd be scary. Like, I would like the money, but like, I don't know.
Is this comment yours? You talk a lot of shit for someone who's eaten my ass.
Hey guys, so this is gonna be a fucking crazy story from the date I just went on a couple days ago. I don't even consider this a date because of how fucking horrible this was, so stay tuned. So on Friday, I was at home watching Love Island, and all of a sudden I get this text from this guy who's been trying to make plans with me for the past like 3 weeks. But I've also been flaking because I have been so tired, I've been working a lot, and I just had a bunch of stuff in my mind, and I just wasn't ready to like go out. But the text was like, hey, are you down to go get ice cream tonight? And I was like, sure, like, why not? I mean, I'll just give him a chance. Like, it's just ice cream. So I was like, yeah, sure. And this is at this point like 9 o'clock, 9:15ish. And I was telling my roommates, I was like, hey, I think I'm going on a date tonight. So just wanted to give you a heads up. So I already felt kind of like iffy about it because I was like, I never met this man in person and I was scared shitless. But the guy, he seemed pretty cool. He's 29. God, I'm having a stroke. Like, he also was in the police academy and he just worked at a security place here in Orlando. So I was like, okay, he must seem like a good guy. And he's also a family guy, according to his Bumble. So I was like, okay. So, mind you, I was like, okay. And I gave him my address because he was like, I'm going to pick you up. I said, cool. So, he picks me up like maybe 25, 30 minutes later after this conversation. And he gets to my apartment, and I told my roommates I am not walking down by myself. And willingly, they were so great, and they walked me down to make sure I didn't get freaking hurt when I went down to the car. So this is when this all goes downhill, so buckle up. So I get to the car, and I also didn't like the car that he had. It was a red Ford Mustang, and I said, fuck. I have bad luck with guys who have Mustangs or any sport cars. So, okay, I open the door. I'm like, giving him a chance. And the first thing this man said to me was, finally you made time to hang out with me. Excuse me? I said, oh, like, I'm sorry. I've just had a lot going on. I work 6 days a week, whatever. And I just was telling him, like, the reality. Like, I mean, it's just how it is. And after that, we had like a normal conversation. Mind you, I had no idea where we were going to go get ice cream. So we ended up at Disney Springs.
I said, oh, freaking great, of course. What are the odds? So we get to Disney Springs and we're walking out and we're walking through security. Everything's fine. Until he says, so why are we here again? I was like, didn't you ask me to go get ice cream? He was like, oh yeah, we're gonna go to Salt and Straw. I've never been there before. I was the only one that ordered because I guess it was just only about me. And I was like, are you gonna get anything? And he was like, no. I was like, okay. So I got like a little cup full of ice cream. I got like 1 scoop because I was like, I'm also lactose intolerant and I have IBS. So I'm not trying to fuck myself over. So we were going to the register. And this is one of the first big incidences and it was so embarrassing. So we're at checkout. And I'm a cast member. And he's like, so where's your blue ID? I was like, excuse me? And he was like, do you have your blue ID? You're going to give me a discount, right? And I was like, no. And he was like, yo, like, you couldn't hook me up? And the register lady was very sweet. And she was like, it's only like 50 or 75 cents. I was like, oh, thank God. I was like, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. He was like, bro, what the fuck? And he taps his phone to pay it. And I was like, ma'am, thank you. Have a great night. And she's like, you too. I hope it gets better. I was like, interesting. So I walk out with my ice cream. We went to go sit down. I was like, dude, that was like so embarrassing. Like, you can't just do that. That was just also uncalled for. And he was like, sorry, man. Like, I won't do it again. Like, I really thought you were trying to hook me up. And I was like, there's no freaking real discount there. So it goes on and we are heading to the Marvel store because we finished up and I was like, let's go get walk-in, like, let's go see some stores. So the first one was the Marvel store and he was looking at this shirt and he was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. I was like, yeah, it's a cool looking shirt, like, whatever. And he was like, you gonna buy me it? I was like, no, like, that's crazy expensive, you're funny. And he's like, no, you're serious, like, you're really not gonna buy me it? Like, this is what I want. I was like, first off, I don't even know who you are. Second off, why am I obligated to get you something? Like, I never agreed to that. Like, I don't even freaking know you. And he was like, well, I just fucking hooked you up with some ice cream. Like, huh? And I was like, yo, like, that's just not gonna happen. Like, I'm not getting treated like this. And so I was like, well, I'm gonna dip and go to the Disney style store, which was next door. He followed me over and I went over and I found this shirt that was so cute. I was like, oh my gosh, maybe I should just buy this shirt. I really, really like it. It was like this 4th of July when it had like Walt Disney World and it had like a flag on the back. I was like, oh my God, I really like it. And I had it like up to my shirt, like on my chest in the mirror. I was like, oh, maybe I should buy it. And there, mind you, a lady's right next to me, thankfully, in the situation when I was putting it up to my chest to look at it. I'm tiny. I'm holding a small. And he comes up behind me. He says, I don't really like how you look in that. You look kind of big. And that was the moment I was like, wow. And I just had the biggest frown on my face. And I put the shirt down. And the lady said to the guy, wow, you were really disrespectful. Like, she looks really good in that if she were to buy it. And I said, thank you so much. And she's like, are you going to buy it? I was like, no. And I put the shirt down. And I left the store. And the last place that we went to, we walked over to level 99 because I really wanted to go check it out, but we got over there and he threw the biggest fucking fit and he was like, yo, what the fuck, of course it's fucking closed, like, on a night like this. It was a private event buyout. I was like, fine. And I was like, we can come back another time if you want, like, I'm sorry, like, this shouldn't be a big deal. And he was like, no, fuck this place. So I was like, whatever. And I was like, I hate to say this, but I do have to go. I have to go get home and get ready for work the next day because I have to be up at 6. And he was like, yo, is this date just only about you? Like, you're not going to do anything for me? We're not going to go do something I like? And I was like, you asked me to get ice cream. I made extra time and we went to a couple stores. Like, I have to go. So we get to the parking lot and I was like, oh, maybe he'll open my door, like something nice. No, he didn't talk to me all the way back. So I was like, okay, cool. So We didn't talk at all the entire ride back to my apartment because he had to drop me off. He was speeding, he was texting and driving, and he ran through one red light. And I said, oh, this man is trying to kill me. So this was the last straw for me. We got to my apartment, and I was ready to go. And I opened my door, and I walked out, and I was like, hey, I'm so sorry. Like, this isn't what you expected tonight. I hope you have a better night. Please get home safe. Like, I'm willing to text you, and we can kind of talk things over or whatever. And as soon as I was trying to say the next thing, he said, just shut the fucking door. So I shut the door, and I walked up to my elevator, and I started crying. So I hate dating, and that was the most traumatic thing ever. And yeah, Bumble, I hate you. Joseph, who lives in fucking Kissimmee, Florida, when you're going to the police academy, please tell them how you treat women, because if not, I will share this at the police academy that you're going to. Have a great rest of your day, y'all. Enjoy my story. Be careful with these crazy guys out here in Orlando, because they're horrible.
Why the fuck would I kill them with kindness when I could kill them with the candlestick in the billiard room? That makes no sense.
Okay, so I am sure we all know why we're here. Y'all are sat, and so am I. So let's get into it, starting from the tippy top. We left my mom's house about 7:45, 8 o'clock from literally hanging out for my 30th birthday. Steak dinner, salad, potatoes, whole nine. We get home. We notice that the top lock on our door is locked, and we don't ever do the top lock. Let me stop here. The first question I'm going to get is, how did he get in your house? Probably my carport door. I do understand that it is 2026. I understand this sounds so stupid, but I live 20 miles off of the interstate, back in the cut of some bump-up, curvy back roads on a gravel road. The last thing I'm thinking of when I leave my house is locking my doors. That's why I live out here. That's why I moved from Memphis and DeSoto County to the country, okay? Lesson learned. I digress. Let's keep it moving. I told my husband, Michael, I just want to take a shower for the last part of my 30th birthday, and I just want to lay in the bed. I did not want to do bath time. I did not want to do nighttime. Love my kid. Wanted to relax. Joke's on me. It was past the baby's bedtime, obviously, so Michael just went into our bathroom to brush his teeth, wash his feet, wash his armpits, you know, all the good stuff, and we were just going to put him in the bed. This is when it starts. I just remember hearing 2 dogs barking. Newsflash, I only have one. I, at this point, was thinking maybe the dog busted through the door, like, you know, maybe it just didn't get pulled all the way shut. The dog busted through the door. We got a random dog in our house, okay? So I was like mid, like, opening refrigerator door to get the milk to pour the baby a bottle, okay? And I go in the bedroom. He tells me that our neighbor is in our master bedroom closet with his pit bull. Mind you, my first night living in this house, said pit bull bit me through the fucking fence and drew blood. Okay, so my first thought is get my baby out there. Then Michael starts telling me, Larry's in the fucking closet with his fucking dog. Get the baby, call 911. Me and Grady go outside, I call 911. Again, I live in the middle of nowhere. Dispatcher, very calm. I know that's our job. Made me repeat my address 4 times. Why can y'all not pull that up on GPS? This is 2026, okay? Again, I digress. I get the cops on the way. I hang up with them. I call my mom. Need you here. Stat. Bring Sean, okay? Hang up with her. Get back on the phone with the cops. At this point, I'm on the phone with the cops, and Michael comes outside and he says, Larry said that these people came and pulled up in their driveway, told our other neighbor, I'm going to leave her name out of this because I'm going to leave it out of this. They pulled up in the driveway, said they had something for her, stole the truck, shot her. She's over there dead. He got scared. He ran to his closest hiding spot. So we've had a problem with Larry in the past. We haven't had this problem with Larry in the past, but Larry does hallucinate, and he does go down to his brother's house and smoke roll, shoot up, whatever it is that is his choice of pleasure, he does that. So my first thought is, this motherfucker's tweaking. All I can remember is hearing my husband, keep in mind, gun drawn, gun's been drawn, gun has been drawn. Larry, if you open that fucking door, I'm fucking you. Okay, nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that. Thank you. Nobody wants to hear that at all. I heard this multiple times. This is all I've actually heard in my head today. Okay, so again, we live in the middle of nowhere. This is like a 35-40 minute wait for a single officer to show up at my house. Okay, so at this point I'm outside, I'm in the front, my mom's on her way, I'm on the phone with the police. I end up calling Highway Patrol because the police aren't doing it for me quick enough. Okay, so I call Highway Patrol. I've got both of them on the phone. I need someone here stat. I'm yelling. I understand, like, this is y'all's job, but I need someone very fast. I have a toddler here. I have a crazy person in my house, in my closet, with a pit bull that has already been biting people on my property. Okay? Next thing we know, so we're both outside at this point because we can see the closet door. Michael told him, if you open this closet door up before the police get here, you know it's coming. Okay? And I I'm literally out loud. I just remember myself saying, Jesus, 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 please protect my husband. Jesus, please protect my husband. Jesus, 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 Jesus. That's all I could say. That's all I could say. I was looking at the sky, holding a baby. Jesus, please, God, God, please, Jesus. That's all I could say. Literally, I had no words. At this point, I see Michael, like, kind of rounding the corner, like, from behind where our chickens stay, which is towards the neighbor's house. And he says, something is going on. The truck is still over there. The truck is not stolen. So fast forward, I don't even know how many minutes. Time has kind of just erased at this point in my head. The said truck starts pulling up onto our property, like, kind of like crossing over their driveway into our driveway, and Michael pulls his gun on the truck. He is, he's yelling, what the fuck is going on? What is going on? And our neighbor, she gets out. Keep in mind, she's a lesbian. He is just a squatter. Like, he lives there because she felt bad for him, doesn't pay rent, doesn't have a job, can't pass a drug test, like, none of that. And, drawn, like, I'm literally praying to God. And she's like, put the gun down, Michael, it's me. And he's like, I'm not putting the fucking gun down. Not putting the fucking gun down. Police pull up right back over here. Okay? No one is rushing to the scene. Nobody. So I start screaming, I have a toddler over here. Please come help us. I'm screaming, please help me. So then everybody starts walking. Everybody is in, there was probably about 20 people that just pulled up at the same time. They start walking to my husband as he has his gun still drawn. The way that I felt in that moment, y'all know the way the world is. The way I felt in that moment is indescribable. It's indescribable. So Michael's like, I have a gun. It's loaded. I'm not putting it down until y'all tell me to put it down. And they're like, sir, please put the gun down. He said, it's loaded. He puts it down, hands up. Okay? Okay, so the cops get there, they're getting everyone's stories, they're collecting, like, what we have to say outside, and they are looking at my house from every angle on how to get in, approach this, and where to even start, with him or with a dog. Come back for part 2. Okay, so the cops get here, my neighbor is still in the closet, in my closet, with his dog, door shut. We can see everything through this window right here. The police are trying to figure out really what the fuck is going on and where is he at, what is going on with him, and who all's in the house, XYZ. So they obviously have like a protocol that they have to do, or a procedure, or whatever that looks like in terms for a police force. So SWAT gets called out. So we are just literally standing here with a crazy Larry in my closet. And toddler in hand, he's scared shitless. Keep in mind, my husband was coming in this bathroom. I'm looking at the closet that man pissed in, by the way. He had baby in hand when all this transpired. My kid is terrified of my bathroom. So while y'all are nagging for fucking part 2 and part 3, this is like seriously something like we are having to live through. So
Please, Jesus, give a girl a break. Not to mention some of you bitches would have to go to therapy for this. Okay, so let me get it out on my own terms. So at this point, my parents pull up, they take Grady, they have figured out what they're gonna do. We have locked the back door. There's only like 2 or 3 exits in my house, and they can see the closet door has not been opened through this window right here. We probably had like 20 to 30 cars and like 40 to 50 people, like assault rifles, guns, literally the whole 9. Ambulance pulled through 3 fucking driveways to get to my house. So like, whatever's gonna happen is about to go down, and they have just basically told me, my husband, and my boo, go stand as far away as we can, because also keep in mind, this man was in our closet, which is where my husband keeps his guns at. So not only is he in there, not only is he not all the way with it, not only does he have a nagging ass pit bull, but he also has my husband's loaded guns in there. Okay, so fast forward, you know, they go in, they're clearing the house, they get him out, and again, like, I do understand the area that I live in. I do understand that I'm from Memphis, but to see this random ass stranger just beat bop out of my fucking house, keep in mind, at one point, me and my son were barricaded in the back hatch of my car, just hunkered down because we did not know what was gonna happen, and my best thought was to, but like, just hunker down and just hold my child. And so the back hatch was up. I look up and I just see him like propped on, like leg propped up on his arm, and he's just telling him whatever he wants to hear. So my husband and my stepdad go up to their little huddle that they're having over there with this man, and they're just trying to listen to see what's going on. He's done told them that the girl 2 doors down gave him some antibiotics, and it's got him a little loose in the head. Funny story for him, another one of my neighbors that heard this and just showed up at this, what we were thinking was like a secluded, I'm not gonna say crime scene because like nothing really happened, but like they let my neighbor like leave and go back to her house and just come up back with like a cigarette, like when nobody held still for no reason. My parents just pulled up and was able to just to walk up, didn't ask who they were, were you here, what do you need, did it, nothing. So it's just kind of like a bunch of, I want to say unethical practices, because what the fuck? But I'm not going to go into it because the sheriff of, like, head honcho of this whole situation was very kind to me and my family. I've heard from him today from his personal cell phone, so, like, I'm not just going to dog it, but, like, what the fuck was actually going on? So, ambulance, they put him in the ambulance. They're trying to see, like, what the fuck is going on. My neighbor that was heard this over the dispatch, she shows up, you know, in her fucking Toyota Trailblazer, or I don't even think that's a car, but like, you know what I'm saying, like she just beat bops up in the fucking house driveway, and she is like, she did not give you no antibiotics. That's my sister or my uncle's cousin's brother, I don't know who it was, but she said they didn't do that. So I'm missing like a little bit of the details because I don't know if it's like really something y'all want to hear, but I mean, I could do a freaking part 3 of like everything that was said between my other neighbor that we thought was dead, and things like that. But so she's like, she ain't giving you no damn antibiotics, you know, like what the hell are you talking about? And I overhear that he has been to his brother's house, and if you hear for part 1, you know that his brother is the one that supplies him with anything he would like. At one point, he's like sitting on the back of Michael's Dodge Ram, and they're just like kind of hashing all of this out. And basically what it came down to is we have no answers. The sheriff did say that they were charging him with everything that they could, top, bottom, left, and right. He was taken to jail. We obviously like are pressing charges, restraining order, like all of that good stuff. We have already contacted like our lawyer and, you know, just like everything that needs to take place to cover our ass, seeing as this was just so easy to, I feel like it was like swept underneath the rug. Like this man walked out of my house in no handcuffs, no Russian, nobody was holding his arm. He actually had a cold bottle of water when he walked out, and we don't keep our waters in the fridge, so I don't even know where he found that at or who gave that to him or what.
So we ourselves are taking any point of legal action that we can, because like literally what the fuck was that? I am like very, very, very thankful that my husband did not have to pull that trigger. That would have changed, one, his life forever, but our lives too. But that genuinely would have changed my husband's blueprint. Like that would have changed, as it should for anyone. I don't think that as humans, unless deemed like absolutely necessary, like if he were to charge at my husband or something like that, we're not meant to take the lives of other humans, and that would just wreak so much hurt, processing, and trauma. It would not even be funny, and it could have ended extremely differently. I think the only thing that is kind of like the saving grace in all of this is I did know the man that was in the closet, and it would be completely different. Like it should have never happened, first of all, but like if it were like a stranger, like how the fuck did you get to the house? Completely different situation if my neighbor actually was fucking over there, because then like who the fuck did that, and why the fuck are you seriously still in my car? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if we were home? What if I was home alone? What if Michael was out of town and over the road and it was just me and Grady? Like, this could have been so much worse. And I think the one thing that seriously has me like tweaking in the fucking head about living here still is how long it takes to get help being this far out. Obviously, no, we're like all of our guns are in the house. Obviously, with a toddler, like that'd be stupid if I didn't. But I mean, still, like I'm thankful for a husband with patience. I'm thankful for a husband with a clear mind, and I'm thankful for a husband that is not fucking trigger happy, because that would have literally changed the trajectory of everyone's life. Hers over there, ours, Larry's family, if they even give a fuck about him. And just things like that. And so for that reason alone, I cannot thank God enough. I'm thankful that all of the police like were safe, whether they got here fast or not. I'm thankful, you know, I'm just very thankful, okay, because it could have been like completely different. I guess I would just use this time to say it doesn't matter how safe you think you are out in the boonies or whatever. It is 2026, and just people cannot be trusted anymore, and that sucks. It really does. I live out here for a little bit of freedom, and I live out here for a little bit of peace of mind, and I lost all of that. And just to think about the thoughts that are running through my husband's head today has me in shambles as a wife. And to know that my child could not sleep in his bed because he was so scared, he would not let anyone put him down. He did not want to come in the bathroom with me this morning. He had to sleep in our bed last night. That is also something my family is going to have to work through. And it just sucks. The whole situation sucks. I still haven't like wrapped my whole head around it, like just enough to kind of like get it out to you guys, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know. We're changing locks. We are going to get some cameras. We're going to do like what we need to do, including probably putting our house on the market. But just like, just be prepared for it. Get ready with me to change my locks, because what is a bitch supposed to do? I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to make light of the situation, but in all actuality, this is a huge reality, and it's scary. I talked to the sheriff today, and they are going to try their damnedest to let me know when he gets out. So I don't feel like there's a need for a part 3, but if you want to hear anything else, ask your questions and you know I'll answer. It just sucks to feel this way in your own home.